50 seconds. 40 seconds. 30 seconds. 20 seconds. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off. Hello and welcome to Red Pride Stadium on the campus of Plainfield High School. I'm Steve McAtee and I'll be bringing you all the action as your fifth-ranked Plainfield Quakers challenge the Franklin Central Flashes in week 1 of the Indiana high school football season. Well, I'll tell you, one of the greatest feelings of euphoria I have every year is the third or fourth Friday in August when I walk up those metal bleachers toward the press box for the first time in 9 or 10 months, because that means after the agonizingly long off season, the thrill and the passion of the Friday night lights are back. And for the 19th consecutive season, audiosportsonline.com is your source for Plainfield football all season long. We'll have every varsity game for you, home and away, regular season and playoffs, the minimum of 10 games and a maximum of 14. 14 is how many it'll be if we get all the way to the state championship game on Thanksgiving weekend at Lucas Oil Stadium. In addition, every Sunday we'll have the Tyler Blech Show, an up-close and personal interview with Plainfield's head coach. The first 2 episodes are already up, the season preview and the week 1 preview. Well, last year Plainfield had a good season, but it could have been a great season. The Quakers started off 5-0 for the 3rd consecutive season and were ranked as high as number 4 in the poll. But then the schedule got tougher and they lost 3 of their last 5, including a very painful 42-7 loss to eventual state champion New Palestine in the first round of the playoff. Furthermore, several of the wins were closer than they should have been because of frequent turnovers on downs in their opponent's territory. Plainfield opened the season at Terre Haute South, and like in their previous 2 games in the series, they were shut out in the first quarter, possibly because of off-season rust, but then came alive in the second quarter. Senior starting quarterback Bryce Savance, after being primarily a game manager the year before, completed 20 of 28 passes for 236 yards, 42% of the 559 he threw for as a sophomore, signaling that this was going to be a much more passing-oriented team. He completed passes to 7 different receivers, and the Quakers scored touchdowns on 5 consecutive possessions, spanning the second and third quarters. Furthermore, though the Braves went on to a 7-3 season, their offense was in disarray in their first game under new head coach Greg Barrett, and the Quakers got an easy 31-7 win. A week later, in their home opener, Plainfield played the Harrison Raiders. In the first half, the Quakers shut down what turned out. In the first half, the Quakers showed what turned out to be their biggest struggle of the season. They turned the ball over on down 3 times at the Harrison 6, 25-2. Despite those missed opportunities, they still led 6-0 at the half because of a 75-yard punt return for a touchdown by Ty White, followed by a failed conversion because of a bad snap. In the second half, senior superstar running back Luke Starnes rushed for 4 touchdowns, but every time Plainfield threatened to pull away, the Raiders came storming back, including touchdown passes of 42 and 6 yards from Landon Nikoloff to Sullivan Garrett on identical trick plays. The one was left to right, the other right to left. In the end, the Quakers escaped with a 34-27 win. In week 3, Plainfield went back on the road, opening mid-state conference play against the Mooresville Pioneers. After Mooresville took a 14-7 lead early in the second quarter when Tyler Denny intercepted a Savant's pass and returned it for a touchdown, Plainfield squandered two trips to the red zone. Ethan Edwards then missed a 26-yard field goal attempt, and the Quakers turned it over on downs at the 16. Plainfield's offense then got on track. Savants threw 3 touchdown passes to newfound junior wide receiver Xander Natam, spanning the second and third quarters, giving the pair 4 for the game. The Quakers went on to win 35-14. That was followed by their only consecutive home games of the season, as they hosted the 2 worst teams in the conference. In week 4, they they had 3 more dreaded turnovers on downs at their own 45 and at the Perry Meridian 16 the Perry Meridian 16 and 19. That is, they committed turnovers on downs at their own 45, and the Perry Meridian 16 and 19, but they still got an easy 41-6 win. Then, before a near capacity crowd on homecoming night, the Quakers beat Greenwood 49-14 as Savants completed 11 of 15 passes for 205 yards and 4 touchdowns, and Starnes rushed 16 times for 208 yards and 2 touchdowns. Then the schedule got tougher. In week 6, Plainfield visited the team that's given them the most trouble in recent years, the Central Hawks, who were playing in Class 6A for the first time after reaching the Class 5A state championship game in the previous 2 years, winning in 2024. They were forced to move up to Class 6A because of the tournament success factor. After quickly falling behind 8-0, Plainfield scored 2 quick touchdowns to take a 13-8 lead early in the second quarter. 67-yard pass from Savants to Natom, and a 7-yard rush by sophomore wide receiver Cohen Vanderbush on a trick play. However, the Quakers were well contained after that, and the Hawks quickly took control of the game. Senior option quarterback Braylon Morris rushed for 2 touchdowns, and senior running backs Kashmir Hicks and Pharrell Carter rushed for 1 each as Decatur Central won 37-19. Back home in week 7, Plainfield took an early 7-0 lead against Franklin on a touchdown pass from Savants to Natom, but committed 4 turnovers on downs in the first half and did not score again until late in the third quarter when they started a string of 3 quick touchdowns, 2 more passes from Savants to Natom, and a 37-yard rush by Starnes. Final was 30-7. Gator Whiteland was one of the oddest games in program history. The Quakers got the ball first. The Quakers got the ball first and lost a fumble on their first play from scrimmage, which the Warriors quickly converted into a 7-0 lead. Plainfield then tied it on their ensuing possession on a 3-yard rush by Starnes, but rushing heavy Whiteland went up 14-7 on the first play of the second quarter by catching the Quakers off guard. Wyatt Upchurch threw one of his only 3 passes of the game and his only complete pass of the game, connecting with wide receiver Peyton Williams, who was wide open for a 25-yard touchdown, but the extra point failed. Later in the quarter, the Warriors nearly took a 2-possession lead but lost a fumble of their own 6. On the Quakers' ensuing possession, a power failure delayed the game for 2 hours and 10 minutes before Starnes scored another 3-yard rushing touchdown, but the extra point failed, and the score was tied 13-13 with 2:16 remaining in the half. But Whiteland responded with a 28-yard field goal on the last play of the half, and then on the first possession of the second half, they used over half the quarter and scored on a 9-yard rush from Jordan Palmer, making the score 23-13. Plainfield got back in it with 9:13 remaining on the Plainfield got back in it with 9:31 remaining in the fourth quarter on a 51-yard pass from Stabons to Mason Beers, but the Warriors put the game away on a 1-yard rush by Upchurch with 2:29 remaining. The final score was 30-20. The Quakers did close out the regular season with a win over Martinsville at home, but it was not very inspiring. The Starnes became the school's all-time leading rusher, and Plainfield scored on the first possession on a 14-yard pass from Savants to Natom. They otherwise struggled to sustain drives, and the Artesians tied it at 7 with a 10-yard rush from Christian Coons with 26.6 seconds remaining in the first half. On the Quakers' first possession of the second half, they narrowly avoided a turnover on downs when Savants completed a 9-yard pass to Devin D'Amato on 4th and 8 from the Martinsville 36. Later on that drive, Savants threw 22 yards to Natom for a touchdown, giving the Quakers a 14-7 lead, but there was no more scoring for the remainder of the game. The Quakers survived 2 red zone turnovers on downs during the game at the 14-20, and they did not clinch the win until the Artesians turned it over on downs on the Plainfield 6 on their last possession. Finally, in the first round of the playoffs, the Quakers hosted the unanimous number 1 ranked team in Class 5A. The New Palestine Dragons were thoroughly dominated on both sides of the ball. New Palestine led 35-0 at the half, resulting in a running clock for the remainder of the game. The final score was 42-7, and the Dragons went on to win their 5th state championship in the last 12 years. Tonight, Plainfield opens the 2026 season against one of 2 newcomers on the schedule, the Franklin Central Flashes, who play in one of the top 2 conferences in the state, the Hoosier Crossroads Conference. The Flashes went 5-6 last season and have generally been a middle of the pack 6A team in recent years. Replacing Terre Haute South with Franklin Central is a significant improvement to Plainfield's schedule, which should help the team learn and grow more as they try to become tougher for the playoffs. Now, last season, Plainfield rushed 314 times and passed 267 times, a ratio of 1.2 to 1. Returning to the ratio of uh, that returned them to their rush pass ratio of 2023 after the 4.7 to 1 rush pass ratio of 2024. After being mostly a game manager as a sophomore in 2024, quarterback Bryce Sabance was a dynamic force. As a, you know, Quarterback Bryce Sabance was a dynamic force as a junior, completing 155 of 267 passes, 58.1% for 1,780 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. Now a senior and a big college prospect, he returns three of his top four leading receivers. Xander Natom, now a senior and another big college prospect. Last season, Natom had 46 receptions for 871 yards and 13 touchdowns. In addition, Cohen Vanderbush, now a junior, last season had 19 receptions for 221 yards and one touchdown. Austin Ward, now a junior, had 19 receptions for 159 yards and two touchdowns. And in addition, Plainfield's leading receiver and arguably most exciting player from 2024, Ethan Ellis, returns after missing almost all of last season with a foot injury. As a sophomore 2 years ago, Ellis had 22 receptions for 282 yards, two touchdowns, nine rushes for 140 yards, including a long of 77 and two touchdowns, and 16 kickoff returns for 473 yards, an average of 29.6 yards per return, including a long of 75. If he's back to 100%, he should have a banner senior season. The biggest question mark for the Quakers is rushing offense. Last year, then senior Luke Starnes rushed 226 times for 1,367 yards. That's 1,367 yards and 14 touchdowns. One of the keys to Plainfield having a great season will be the emergence of a running back who will command enough defensive attention to give the Plainfield to give the Quakers a balanced offense. Quakers were hit much harder on defense, losing 10 of their 12 leading tacklers to graduation. But head coach Tyler Bless expressed great optimism about some of their new defensive players in the Week 1 preview, which aired last Sunday, which is now archived. And the Quakers returned probably their best overall defensive player, junior defensive back Ty White. After an extraordinary 5 interceptions as a freshman 2 years ago, he got three more last season in addition to 56 tackles, the fifth most on the team. He also had a 75 point yard. He also had a 75-yard punt return for a touchdown and 5 receptions for 61 yards and a touchdown. Meanwhile, Franklin Central rushed 299 times and passed 288 times last season, an almost even 1-1 ratio. Their only returning quarterback with varsity experience is junior Caden Marsden, who showed good promise last year in his limited opportunities, completing 11 of 19 passes for 171 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions. The Flashes do return two of their top 7 receivers, both of whom are now seniors. Ryan Frazier last year had 16 receptions for 192 yards and one touchdown, and Jace Brewer, though primarily a defensive player, as I'll mention later in the segment, had 14 receptions for 111 yards and one touchdown. Aforementioned Ryan Frazier is Franklin Central's only significant returning rusher. Last year, he rushed 16 times for 106 yards and one touchdown. Flashes lost 7 of their 9 leading tacklers, but returned two major defensive stars who are now seniors and have already committed to major college programs. Defensive end Jace Brewer is on his way to play for the University of Michigan Wolverines. Last year, he had 31 tackles, 2.5 sacks, 13 hurries, and 3 blocked field goals. Meanwhile, defensive end DJ Mitchell is on his way to play for the University of Miami Redhawks in Ohio. He had 31 tackles and 3 interceptions last season. Head coach for Plainfield is Tyler Bless, who's 22-9, starting his 4th season with the Quakers. Head coach for Franklin Central is Jason West, who's 22-29, starting his 6th season with the Flashes, and 145-67 in his 19th season overall. He previously served as head coach of Lawrence Central from 2008 to 2012, leading the Bears to the 2012 Class 5A state championship Class 5A state championship and the 2010 Class 5A state championship game. Keep in mind, during those seasons, Indiana had a 5-class season. They changed to 6-class in 2013. West also served as head coach for Warren Central from 2013 to 2020, leading the Warriors to the 2013 and 2018 Class 6A state championships and 5 other sectional championships. He is one of only 4 head coaches in Indiana high school football history who has won state championships with 2 different schools. Well, at this time, we'll take a short break from a few words. Well, at this time, we'll take a short break for a few words from our sponsors, and then we'll be back with the opening kickoff. Plainfield Franklin Central, Plainfield Franklin Central season opener coming at you live Friday night. Next. Broadcast of Plainfield Quakers football on audiosportsonline.com is brought to you by the generous donations of their sponsors. We would like to thank them and we hope you will support them. They are New Wave Home Solutions, Inalt Financial, Crone Family Construction, Crest Point Real Estate, Chris Pearson, Sunrift, Remax One Julia Burbridge, Maximond Roofing, CCB Contracting, I-70 Record Service and Garage, Jay's Tree Farm, Haynes Roofing and Remodeling LLC, Ellis and Associates, PGW Construction LLC, Lennar Homes of Indiana LLC, YSD Design, Hampton Gentry Funeral Home, Basham Construction, Onward Financial, Marissa Harris Priority Realty Group, Farnsworth Recycling, and Ray's Demolition. Thank you, sponsors. Your support for the student athletes of Plainfield High School is greatly appreciated. Well, back here at Plainfield, we're just a few minutes away from kicking off the 2026 season here. The starting kickoff will be delayed for a few minutes because the senior day activities, which have traditionally been done before our last home game, were done um, before the season opener for the second consecutive year. Last year we did it well, it was week 2 because that was the first home game. This week we're doing it in week 1. Um, and Coach Bless explained that they made the change because senior day last year fell during fall break, and they wanted a bigger crowd for it, and it seemed to go over well last year. So I don't think anybody minded too much breaking from tradition. And certainly it's nice for kids to have a packed house when they're honored as seniors, especially as many years as they put into this program. Not only the players, but the cheerleaders and the band members as well. Um, right now we have, I wouldn't say a perfect evening for football, but a good evening. It's 82 degrees now under a mostly clear sky here in Plainfield in the southwest Indianapolis suburb. I'd like it about 10 degrees cooler, but not bad. And certainly, best of all, it's great that we finally have a break from the rain. I'll tell you, I'm a 55-year-old lifelong Hoosier, and man, I have never seen, I don't think in my whole life, um, a period of rain like we've had the last couple of weeks. And at that, we will pause for the national anthem. Well, thank you to the Plainfield Marching Quakers for that lovely rendition of the national anthem. And like I was saying, it's 82 degrees here after a high of 84 in Plainfield. under a mostly clear sky. Still got probably an hour and 10 minutes of daylight left. One thing I've learned from this is my 15th year of high school football commentary. This is my 151st game. That's 151st game as a varsity commentator tonight. Um, and one thing I've learned is you lose about 10 minutes each week. By the time we get to the playoffs here in a few weeks, um, we'll have basically it'll be sundown by the time the game starts, and that will continue through the playoffs. Hopefully, we'll at least be blessed with some good weather. But anyway, we've got a great crowd tonight. I got here about an hour and a half early, along with my son Liam, who's my assistant here in the press box. My 6th year serving as my assistant. Um, and on the way over, we stopped by so Liam could film another elevator for his YouTube channel, Elevator Dude. But anyway, we got here about an hour and a half early. There were already a few hundred cars here in the parking lot. There was tailgating going on. We still have a steady stream of cars filing in. And I was glad to see once again all the American flags draped out on the road into the school. That's great to see Plainfield promoting that kind of positive attitude about this great country that we live in, that we're very lucky to live in. And most people, if you think we're not lucky to live in America, it's probably because, you haven't been to a whole lot of other countries. Um, but anyway, we've got, I would say, somewhere between 3,000 and 3,500 Quaker fans here. On the visiting side of the field, we have about 150 Franklin Central fans who made the trip from South Central Indianapolis. Franklin is not actually from the city of Franklin, where we will be down in week 7 to play our Mid-State Conference rival Franklin Grizzly Cubs. But Franklin Central, the Flashes, are located, as I said, in southeast Indianapolis in Franklin Township, just like Decatur Central, which is in southwest Indianapolis, is in Decatur Township. So I really don't understand the concept of townships. Maybe I'll look that up on Wikipedia. Maybe that'll be my pet project for next week. But anyway, now the Quakers entering the field through the giant inflatable Quakers helmets in one of the corners of the end zone, and now the band playing the school fight song. These fans very excited about this season. The Quakers now have won six or more games 4 years in a row. Had a winning record the last 3 years in a row. 22-9 in the first 3 years under head coach Tyler Bless, including 9 wins 2 years ago. Um, Now they're hoping to get over the hump this year, and having a couple of tougher um, opponents, replacing a couple of weaker opponents, as I'll talk more about at the half, I think is going to help a lot. Um, we've replaced Terre Haute South, a relatively weak team, with Franklin Central, a relatively strong team, and that happened also later in the season, although not through anything that we did, but as I'll mention in greater detail later, the Greenwood Woodmen, in something I have very mixed feelings about, have left the conference. I'm very sad about it, though I think it's the best thing for us and them, because they were just not likely to be very competitive in the conference in the near future, just because they had just fallen so far behind in student population to the rest of the conference. Um, they were replaced in the conference by Bloomington North, which is now our week 5 opponent. I guess we'll be for the foreseeable future. We'll be going down to Bloomington um, near IU in 4 weeks, and Liam's looking forward to that. He's really looking forward to the road trips this season, because next week when we go back to Harrison, he'll go film elevators at Purdue, and then 4 weeks from now when we go down to Bloomington North, he'll film elevators at IU. So anyway, I don't know if Franklin Central or Bloomington North have elevators at their stadiums or not. Last year, Mooresville was our only road opponent who had an elevator at their stadium. But anyway, um, uh, they were actually installing it when we were there in 2022 or 2023, excuse me, and then it was done last year. So he has an elevator of that on his channel too. But anyway, the captains from the teams now at the Plainfield, I guess you call it the coat of arms there, doing the pregame coin toss. They got 12 minutes on the clock now, 7:04. So the season will be starting just a little late, but no big deal. Anyway, man, I'll tell you, the last 41 Fridays have been tough not having a game to call. Um, so Franklin Central has won the coin toss, and they are receiving. Probably a good move because they have a largely revamped offense. They were hit very hard on offense, not only by graduation, but also by their superstar last year sophomore wide receiver Markel Bailey transferring to North Central. Plainfield's, lost a couple of guys to big guys to transfer over the years as well. It's no fun. Um, but in football, you just got to take the breaks that are given to you and make the most of them. So anyway, um, now the team's going to the and now the Quakers coming out. Their kicking unit is, and let's see. This year we have. It looks like Liam McAdam is a he he is a senior. This will be his first career kickoff. Ethan Edwards was our kicker last year as a junior. But now we're going to see what Liam McAdams can do. Two players back deep to receive for the Flashes, and it's a fairly deep kick. It is fielded at about the 56. At the 56-yard kick out to the floor, and he's got the room down the right side past the 40, 45, past the 50, breaks the tackle past the 45, 40. Two men to beat, and he's knocked down inside the 30. That was DJ Mitchell. He's on his way to play for the University of Miami, Ohio, and I can see why. That was a 67-yard return there. Wow, great athlete, a star defensive back as well. So for a team that's largely, starting with an inexperienced offense, um, certainly they like having that great field position. Hopefully, the Quakers defense will rise to the occasion. Put in a very tough spot to start off the season. 11:45 to go in the first quarter. So now we've got two receivers out to the right, one to the left. Um, Hayden Marsden is the starting quarterback for Franklin Central. He played a little bit last year as a sophomore. Now handoff there, and he's got some room around the right side, past the 25, past the 20, knocked out of bounds after a gain of about 7 or 8. That was Ryan Frazier, the only returning receiver that Franklin Central has with any significant rushing experience. They give him credit for 6. 2nd and 4 for the Flashes at the 21. 3 receivers to the left, and now we got a flag here against good break for the Quakers. It's against Franklin Central. This is the first ever. Okay, dead ball foul. 5 yards. So 2nd and 6. Second. I'm sorry. Second and so that basically that wipes out most of that gain there by Frazier. Now handoff again, and then he's brought down probably for a loss. That was I'm sorry, Bryce Dancer. They're giving him credit. Okay, they're giving him credit for -1. So now a 3rd and 8 there for the Quakers. So hopefully we'll hold the line here. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right, 1 running back. Marston in shotgun takes a snap, throws deep down the left side. He's going for Mitchell, and it's broken up. He was thrown into double coverage, deflected by Ty White and one other Quaker. um, and also by uh, Corbin Woods as well. So good coverage there. So 4th and 8. Well, I'm on the radio. Sorry. Um, so 4th and 8, they're going to go for it. Three receivers to the left, one to the right, empty backfield. No, I'm sorry, one backfield standing to the immediate right of Marsden. More on the shot on the play clock. He gets it now, throws deep right, and it is overthrown. Um, Franklin wanted pass interference, but to me that was looked to me it looked like incidental contact. So I think it was a good no call there. Well, anyway, the Quakers take over the first offensive possession of the season. 10:51 to go, 1st and 10 at their own 27. Let's go, boys. So two receivers to the right, one to the left, two running backs. Bryce DeBonce hands off, and he gets up for about 4 or 5. It's number 25, Justin Meyer. He is a um, he is a senior. That's his first career rush. So a promising start. 5 yards on his first carry. That was going to be the big question mark coming into the season after Bryce Sabonk carried the rushing load almost by himself last year. It's now two receivers to each side now. And now a screen pass over to Natam. He's got the first down and more down the right side. Knocked out of bounds after picking up about 14. So Sabons to Natam looks like it's going to be a deadly combination again this year. 15 yards as they hook up for the first time on the season. They connected for 13 touchdowns last season and nearly 1,000 yards. So 1st and 10, Plainfield at their own 48. Three receivers now to the left, one to the right. Justin Meyer, the running back. Bryce Sabons in shotgun, 10:09 to go, first game of the season. And snap, throws up the middle, and it is just dropped. Intended for Devin D'Amato. D'Amato is a senior, 6'3", 223. Quietly, had some good catches last year. Got lost in the shuffle of some of the more prolific players, but there were times when he came through for us on some big plays. So now we have Ethan Ellis and Xander Natam lining up to the left, Austin Ward to the right, Justin Meyer and one other running back in there. Sabants takes it 2nd and 10 now, and we got a flag. And I believe it's going to be against Franklin Central. It is. So the first two offsides. So the first two penalties of the season go against the Flashes, coming in the first minute 54. So once again, Natam and Ellis to the left, Ward to the right. Justin Meyer and one other running back in there I cannot see because he's standing directly to my side. And now fakes a pass, and Sabons takes it. He gets about 5 or 6 for his first rush of the season. What I was trying to say is the other running back, his shoulders were almost immediate. Were almost facing me, so I couldn't see his number. So they give Sabons 6 yards there. 3rd and 4 for the Quakers. They went from 147 to the other. Now we got D'Amato up to the right, Tom and Ellis to the left. Meyer, the running back. Sabons takes a shot. Sabons takes it, hands off to Meyer. He gets maybe 2. He's going to be short of the. I'm sorry, that was Devontae Thomas, right, with his first career carry. Devontae Thomas, number 21. So the two running backs so far, 21 and 25, they give him credit for 2. So 3 different Quakers have rushed here on the first possession of the season. 8:47 to go. 4th and 2. The Quakers going for it. And now hands off there, and he plows through. It's going to be really close. I think he's a yard short. Thomas went for it again. He is a very big guy. Not tight wise, but he's bulky. 5'10", 197. It's still close. It might be measurement close. No, he did not get it. Well, God, man, after all the turnovers on downs we had last season, I hate to start the new season with another one. Although the defense certainly did a good job. They give Thomas credit for one there. So now hopefully the defense will do its part. Once again, we got two future Division I players on the Franklin Central defense, but we have, I think, enough weapons that we can overcome that. So two receivers to the right now, one to the left, two running backs for the Flashes. Marston takes the snap and he hands off, and that's Ryan Frazier again. He got 6 on his first rush. He gets about 3 on that one. That's Ryan, not Ryan, but Rian, like Ryan without the B. Two receiver, 2nd and 7 now for the Flashes at their own 47. 8:04 to go in the first quarter. Still no score. First game of the season. First game in this series. So two receivers to the right, one to the left. Now hands off again to Frazier. He's got some room on the right side, and he's got the first down and a little more up to about the 42. That's a pickup of about 11 there for Ryan Frazier. The biggest rush from any player in this game so far. Give him 11 there. So Frazier 3 for 20. The only returning Franklin Central player with any significant rushing experience. Two receivers to the left, one to the right. We've got now Ezekiel Scruggs there in the backfield for the Flashes, along with Bryce Danzer, who had a rush earlier on the first possession. 7:24 to go and counting. And now handoff there to I believe that was Danzer. Gets about 4 there. He got -1 on his first. He did significantly better there. 7:04 to go here. 7:17 your time of day. Give him 4 yards there. So now 3 receivers out to the left, one to the right, one running back there. Marsden in shotgun. He threw 19 passes last year as a sophomore. Not a lot, but he did get 3. He did get 3 touchdowns from them. And now handoff there and now on a strict play, wide receiver Andrew Jimenez started off in wide receiver, and then cuts right, took a handoff, and he gets up for about 16 yards there. Very good play there. So 3 rushers from each team already in the first 6 minutes of this game. 1st and 10 now at the 22 for the Flashes. They got up to the 21 on their last drive. So both teams have had one possession and turned it over on downs. 2 receivers now to the left, one to the right, nearly halfway through the opening quarter of the season. A high snap, but and now the plays whistle dead. The plays whistle dead. So let's see what that's all about. Oh, delay of game. Okay, I apologize. I was not watching the play clock. So the already 3 penalties against the 3 penalties against the Flashes in the first 5:25, all for 5 yards. No penalties yet against Plainfield. So 1st and 10 becomes 1st and 15. Now at the Plainfield 27, the clock's at 6:35. 2 receivers to the right, one to the left. The snap, and so the short pass over to Zaire Torres, Dyere. So that's a gain of 8 yards there. Marsden's first reception of the season. Second pass. Zaire, Zyere. So 2nd and 7 now at the 19. The flashes in the red zone for the first time. Rushed up the middle now. He's brought down for just 1 or 2. That was Ezekiel Scruggs with his first carry. The that's the fourth rusher of the game for Franklin Central. So 7 rushers in the first 7 minutes of the game between the two teams. Give him credit for 2, bringing up 3rd and 5. Second, and so 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right, 1 running back for Franklin Central. Now the snap, throws to the left. He's got a man wide open. He's got the first down easily inside the 10. That's Jimenez again with his second reception on this drive. He gets about 8 or 9 there. So hopefully we'll rise to the occasion here. I knew that this was going to be a step up from Terre Haute South. So now handoff there, and he's got the room on the left side, and he's into the end zone for a touchdown there. That was Ezekiel Scruggs. He takes it in 9 yards. So disappointing start. The first points of the season come with 4:52 to go in the first quarter. Franklin Central 6, Plainfield 0 with the conversion pending. That's okay. We can get these points back. I will say this: I hope we win this game, but I don't mind a tough early season loss if it makes us better. Cal Hassel, Ty Hassel, excuse me. Ty Hassel is the kicker for the okay, it's foul against a penalty against Plainfield half the distance to the goal. Ty Hassel, the junior, is the kicker um for the Flashes. Franklin Central declined the penalty. Now Hassel will kick it, and it is up, and it is good. So with 4:52 to go here in the first quarter, um, Franklin Central strikes first blood. They lead Plainfield 7-0. Quakers had 1 possession. They got it to the Franklin Central 45 and then had a dreaded turnover on downs. Let's get the points back, boys. Let's get the points back. We got plenty of time. Um, I tell you, it's one of those things. I know that if we were, playing a weak opponent or a mediocre opponent, and we, were already lighting up the scoreboard, I'd be jubilant. I'm obviously, you can tell, I'm in a very, very serious, tense mood right now. But at the same time, I know this is a team that can make us better. And I don't mind teams that can. Oh, thank you, Liam. We got the pizza again, but first kickoff of the game by Franklin Central, fielded at the 6 by the Quakers. Ty White takes it up to the 20, 25, up to about the 26. Ty White had a 75-yard punt return last year. So the Quakers will start their second drive at the 26. I believe they started their last one at the 27. Plainfield defense has done some good things. They ended up holding Franklin Central without a first down on their first possession after DJ Mitchell returned the kickoff up to the Plainfield 27. So now the Quakers, um, two receivers out to the left, um, two running backs. Sabance in shotgun takes it, takes the handoff, rolls left, got a completion there to D'Amato. He's got room on the left side. He's got the first down and more. All right. You don't have to get. He's knocked out of bounds near the 40. So Sabance has completed his first two passes of the season. All right. So 12 yards there. Uh, that's D'Amato as. Hold on. So now first and 10 at the 38 for the Quakers. Um, one receiver at each side. Now hands off again, and he's up there for Meyer. He gets about two this time. Once again, we're facing a defense with two future Division One players heading for Michigan and Miami, Ohio. So if we do well moving the ball against these guys, that's a very good sign. Meyer now 2 for 7. He got two on that one, bringing up 2nd and 8 for the Quakers. A throw in 40, 3:42 to go in the first quarter. Franklin Central 7, Plainfield 0. Two receivers each side, one running back. Sabance takes it, drops back, throws up the middle, and it's nearly had D'Amato nearly had another one. He would have had the first down probably. He was well covered, got both hands on it, just didn't get the grip. So it's Donato's pizza for at least the 6th consecutive season. They've served me pizza throughout my time at Plainfield, but they switched the pizza company several times. It's been Donato's at least since 2021. And not that I make a big deal out of that. I have very low standards when it comes to pizza, so just about anything is good as far as I'm concerned. 3rd and 8 at the 40. So big third down for the Quakers. You don't want to give them a chance to take a two-possession lead. And now Sabance takes it himself, and he might have the first down. He broke a couple of tackles. He does get it. Yes. So Bryce Sabance. Yes, he got the first. Yeah. So great job rising to the occasion. Sabance had 6 on his first keeper. He had 8 on that one. So good start. So the Quakers now at their own 48, 1st and 10, 3:05 to go, trailing by 7. And now handoff there to Meyer, and he gets up for about 3. Crosses midfield. Meyer, a senior who's paid his dues. Glad to have this opportunity now as a senior. With Luke Starnes carrying almost the entire rushing load last year, did not get much. Well, he didn't get any chances. In fact, even even the number 2 running back, yeah, Corin McGill, that was his name. Corin McGill did not get chances last year either. He had a few nice rushes for us, but Starnes got a vast majority of the carries. So now, Ethan Ellis and Cohen Vanderbush out to the left, 2 receivers to the right. Now Meyer, the running back, and now Savant fakes the pass, throws. Now he throws, and he's got possibly another first down. That was Vanderbush with his first reception of the season. He was brought down immediately. So yeah, they give him credit for 9. So Sabance has completed his first 3 passes of the season, bringing up 3rd and 1. 3rd and 2. I'm sorry. So now 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right, 2 running backs. Now fixed the hand. No, he did hand off to Meyer, but it did not fool the flashes. They brought him down for it looks like a short loss, bringing up another 4th down. God, I'd hate to start off the season with. And now Well, I guess they won't be a turnover announced because it looks like they're going to punt after that loss of two, brings it 4th and 4. So I guess our strategy now is to try to pin the Flashes deep into their own territory and make something good out of that. Justin Meyer, the most active running back for Plainfield in the first quarter, 4 for 7. He had 5 on his first rush, but only 2 on the subsequent 3 combined. And now punt bounces just near the 10. And now Mitchell's got it again, and he's sorry, that's Jimenez, excuse me. I I thought he might let them down it because Plainfield was close to being able to touch it, but he took it up for about 10. They take over at the 19 on offense. So the Quakers have gotten into Franklin Central territory on their first 2 possessions. Came away with no points both times. Turnover on down, followed by punt. 41.1 seconds to go here in the first quarter now. 7:30 your time of day. Still, a beautiful blue sky up there. It was 82 degrees just before kickoff. Now Franklin Central is really starting to fill up the visiting bleachers. Probably a lot of them got stuck in traffic. So now a low snap, but Marsden throws deep down there, and it's overthrown. It's overthrown. I have Marsden 2 for 5 for 17 yards. Both receptions were to Torres, who was the target on that pass as well. 36.7 seconds to go in the quarter. Three receivers to the left, 1 to the right, 1 running back. Marsden takes a snap, drops back, and he throws up the middle. Mitchell's got it, and he's brought down immediately. He might have the first down. It's going to be, I think it's going to be a yard short. Jay Mitchell, they give credit for 8 there. And I'll tell you, Mitchell is a guy I'm really liking. Um, he's the one guy who, obviously, as we've seen in this game, can do it all: offense, defense, and special teams. And that's the end of the quarter. So the Plainfield Quakers showed some good signs in the first quarter, but they failed to finish off 2 drives, and they trail Franklin Central 7-0 here on audiosportsonline.com. We'll be back after we'll be back with the second quarter after we've worked from our sponsors. This broadcast of Plainfield Quakers football on audiosportsonline.com is brought to you by the generous support of our sponsors. We would like to thank them, and we hope you'll support them. They are New Wave Home Solutions, Unall Financial, Crone Family Construction, Crest Point Real Estate, Chris Pearson, Sunrift, Remax One Julia Burbridge, Maximond Roofing, CCB Contracting, I-70 Record Service and Garage, J Street Farm, Hayes Roofing and Remodeling LLC, Ellis and Associates, BGW and Construction LLC, Lennar Homes of Indiana LLC, YSD Design, Hampton Gentry Funeral Home, Gresham Construction, Onward Financial, Marissa Harris Priority Realty Group, Farnsworth Recycling, and Ray's Demolition. Thank you, sponsors. Your support for the student athletes of Plainfield High School is greatly appreciated. Well, back here at Plainfield, we're about to start the second quarter, where your Plainfield Quakers are trying to hang on. They trail the Franklin Central Flashes at 6-18 from the mighty Hoosier Crossroads Conference by a score of 7-0. Franklin Central got the ball first, returned the opening kickoff to the 27, but turned it over on downs. Then Plainfield turned the ball over on downs. And then on Franklin Central's ensuing possession, they scored on a 9-yard touchdown rush from Ezekiel Scruggs. Then after a Plainfield punt, Now they hand the ball up to Scruggs again, and he's got first down the left side over 10 yards. So Scruggs, the player of the game so far for the Flashes. I think he's going to get credit for about 13 on that one. Give him 16. So a 27, a 16-yard pickup by Ezekiel Scruggs. I have him 3 for 27 and a touchdown. The touchdown came from 9 yards. Two receivers to the right, none to the left, two running backs. Now a handoff there to Scruggs again, but this time we stop him for a gain of just 1 or 2. 11:47 to go here, and for some reason the clock is not running. I'm not sure why. It's still stuck at 11:47. So let's see what that's all about. Two receivers now to the right, one to the left for the Flashes. I believe Scruggs is still in that running back. Caden Marsden, a junior, is the starting quarterback for Franklin Central. Snap. Throws deep, throws on the left side, short pass, and it's completed to Mitchell, and he's got a first down for about 12 or so. He's knocked out of bounds inside the Plainfield 45. So they give him credit for 14 there. So Mitchell, the first, and now another pass to Mitchell on the left side. He got again for about 6 yards. He knocked out of bounds after picking up about 5 or so. They give him credit for 8 there. And now a handoff up the middle. He's got the first down. That was Scruggs. So give Scruggs credit for 4. He does have the first down. So I have Scruggs 5 for 32 and a touchdown. And now a handoff again, but this time they stop him for just a short gain. Scruggs again already. I have him with 6 carries by my count, barely a quarter into this season. He likes, excuse me, Ezekiel Scruggs is a senior, 5'8", 185, hoping for a banner senior season after paying his dues. I have him 6 for 33 and a touchdown in this game. Two receivers now to the right, one to the left, and now the rush on him, and now he's nearly sacked, and he's finally and he's hit from the side as he takes it up for his first rush of the game. Good hit there by Zach Nagy. That'll bring up the 3rd and long. Now we've got to get him off the field here. That was the first rush of the game by my count by anybody other than Scruggs. I'm sorry, Banter has a couple too. Sorry about that. And now fakes the handoff, gets it over to Mitchell, and he is stopped after a pickup of about 3. It's going to be 4th and short. I'd imagine they'd go for it though, since they'll be at the 20. I have Mitchell 3 for 27 on receiving now. Two receivers now to the right, one to the left. 4th and 2, and it's incomplete. So the Quakers very lucky to be down only 7-0. Wow. And it was a screen pass to Jimenez, who's come with a couple of big passes tonight, but missed right there. So with 9:16 to go, your Quakers start their third possession of the game. Try to get something going. Two receivers to each side now. One running back. Sabance, he nearly is dodges a sack. Then he drives up and he's got a first down and more. Gain of about 14 there. Starnes, good job. Um, avoiding a sack there. It's his third rush of the game. It's 15 there, so he's 3 for 29 on the ground. He doesn't usually win games with his rushing, but he's shown he's capable of making a big play in that area. So Plainfield's trailing 7-0 here, nearly a third into the first game of the season. 8:53 to go and counting here in the first quarter at Plainfield. This is the first ever matchup between Plainfield and Franklin Central. So now two receivers to the right, one to the left. Hand off there to Justin Meyer again, and he gets up for about 3 or 4. His fifth carry of the season. We went into the season without an heir apparent to the great Luke Starnes, the leading rusher in program history. The team's leading rusher the last 3 seasons. That'll bring up 2nd and 6 for the Quakers. The Tom and Ellis now out to the right. I believe that's Vanderbush to the left. Two running backs in there. Savant's in shotgun. And now fakes the handoff, drops back. It's got time. Throws deep up the middle, but it is overthrown. I think he was trying to get Natom, but he was very well covered. He was in double coverage. So Savants throws his first incompletion of the season. However, there is a flag. So let's see what that's all about. Oh, it's against a personal foul against the defense. All right. So good luck for a good break there for the break for the Quakers. 15 free yards already, 4 penalties, 30 yards against Franklin Central in this game. Only one penalty against Plainfield, and it was on the extra point attempt, and it was declined. So the Quakers now, by virtue of that penalty, move into Franklin Central territory at the 46. We'll take all the free yards we can get. Our offense hasn't been bad, but it's certainly, has not been great either. So now a handoff there to Meyer. He plows his way forward and then gets on a second effort. He might get 3 or so out of it. They were ready for him, but shows a lot of power. Justin Meyer is 5'11", 186. And that gave him 3 there. And now they give it to him again, though, and he lost about the 3 that he. So, well, the counterproductive there. So now we go back to 3rd and 10. Last time when we on 3rd and 8, on our last possession, okay, they give him a little bit of a better. They give him a better spot than I thought. So it's 3rd and 9. Two receivers to the left now, 2 to the right. Very big 3rd and 9 for the Quakers at the Franklin Central 45. Drops back, and now they got him for a sack. They got him for a sack. That's going to be a loss of about 6, knocking the Quakers back into Franklin Central territory. Quakers are very lucky that the Flashes turned the ball over on down on 2 of their first 3 possessions. Otherwise, they could be in a whole world of hurt right now. So the Quakers now still no points, nearly a quarter and a half into the season opening game. 4th and 15 now after that sack against the Savants. High snap now on the punt, and it looks like it might have been partly blocked, but it takes a long Plainfield bounce, so it's going to end up being a fairly decent punt regardless. Inside the 15, the Quakers letting it roll down to about the 12 or 13. So it'll be about a 37 or so yard punt. So nowhere near as bad as it could have been. 39. So all right, not bad at all. We do get the ball first to start the second half, so that is one good thing. Now Franklin Central, they come out with three receivers to the left, one to the right. Hayden Marsden doing a fairly decent job in there, the junior, as they take over at their own 12, 5:58 to go here in the second quarter, 7-0 lead. Screen, and it's just through his hands. He was going after, I believe, he was going after Bryson Perkins Jr. That is. So second and 15 for the second and 10 now. Excuse me, for the Flashes. I don't know why it's the second and 15. Two receivers each side now. Hand off there, and he got a good rush. That was Ryan Frazier. He gets about 6 there. So let's see where they Frazier, had 3 for 20 by my count in the first quarter. This is his first carry since then. Give him 7 there. So I have him 4 for 27. He's hoping for a banner senior season there. Third and 3 at the 19. Very big defensive play for the Quakers here, trying to get the ball back with a chance to at least tie heading into the locker room. Two receivers each side, one running back, and we have, I believe, Franklin Central. Yeah, Franklin Central. I like this timeout used by Franklin Central. They're um, trying to make sure that they I think they're just trying to make sure they don't squander this opportunity. And you want to save your timeouts for situations like this. So anyway, overall, not the start that Plainfield has wanted to this season, but it's not terrible. They're still in it, only down by 7. If they can stop Franklin Central from getting 3 yards here, presumably the Flashes would punt and we'll get the ball back probably in decent position, in decent position to score. We've gotten the ball into Franklin Central territory on all 3 possessions. We started off with a dreaded turnover on downs. So I think we were at the 47. It wasn't like it was a red zone turnover on downs. We had about a dozen of those last season. But, then we punted the other 2 times, at least pinned them deep in their territory. So now one receiver to each side now. Hand off there to Frazier. He's got some room on the left side. And we've got a flag here. Frazier does have the first down, but will it count? He got about 5 or 6, but let's see what that flag is about. We got 2 officials deliberating, and it's coming back, holding against the Flashes. All right, all right. Very, very good break for us. All right. So third and 13 now for the Flashes. No excuse for not getting off the field here, boys. 5:06 to go. Let's make them punt from their end zone. 5:06 to go here in the quarter. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, 1 running back. Marsden takes it. He's pressured and he throws it, and it's caught, but he's hammered immediately. Frazier gets the reception, but he only gets the 1 or 2. So looks like as I hope, the Flashes will be punting from their end zone. So good break for the Quakers. Good break for the Quakers. I have that as Frazier's first reception. after I have that as Frazier's first reception after 4 rushes for 27 yards. So now the punt. It's a high punt, but not very deep. Fielded there by White. He bobbles it. He bobbles it, but he falls on it. He falls on it. White had a 75-yard punt return for a touchdown last year. I think that's what he was going for. Nevertheless, he fell on it at the 37 or 38. So 4:16 to go. This is our best field position of the game. No excuse for not taking this in for the touchdown, boys. Let's go into the locker room with at least a tie. At least a tie. So now we've got Ward and D'Amato out to the right, Ellis and Nakam to the left, Savant in shotgun. I believe Meyer is there again at running back. 4:16 to go. Franklin Central 7, Plainfield 0. Let's go, boys. 1st and 10 at the Franklin Central 37. And now Savant throws up the middle. He's got a completion. He's got the first down to D'Amato inside the 25. All right. All right. Good start to the drive. All right. So that's 14 yards there. I believe that's Plainfield's longest gain from scrimmage in the game. D'Amato's second reception is first was for 12. That was for 14. 1st and 10 at the 23, boys. All right. So now again, pass over to Ethan Ellis. That's a good sign. Ethan Ellis was our leading receiver 2 years ago as a sophomore. Missed most of last season with a foot injury. Picks up 7 there. Glad to see that young man get a reception early. Moves us into the red zone for the first time in the game. The 2nd and 3 for the Quakers at the 16-2 receiver feet side. Screen pass over to Tom. He's got the first down and knocked out of bounds at I believe the 13, so he picked up just what he needed. So the Quakers now, and Tom for Tom, that's his second reception of the game of the season. 1st and 10 of the 13, 3:08 to go. I don't mind if we let a lot of the clock run off as long as we score. So now we've got Ellis and Ward out to the left, and Tom. Excuse me, D'Amato, Ellis, and Ward's to the right. D'Amato to the left. Meyer, the running back. Meyer takes it and he gets up, but doesn't get much, if anything at all. Already, no gains, so it'll bring up 2nd and 10. Meyer 8 for 12 in his first action ever as a rusher. 2:34 to go now. Come on, boys, don't squander this drive. Plainfield's been in the in Franklin Central territory on all 4 possessions, but never got past the 40 until this drive. So now they got 2 receivers to the right, 1 to left. Now screen pass. Oh no, miscommunication. He sent Meyer toward the end zone, but there was missed timing. Meyer didn't turn around in time. Oh no, missed opportunity there. So now 3rd and 1 becomes 3rd and 10 at the 13. And I don't want to. Last year, Plainfield attempted only 1 field goal. I don't know what kind of range Liam McAdams, who did the opening kickoff, has. I don't want to, but I don't want to settle for a field goal here. So 2 receivers to each side. Very big 3rd and 10. Throws up, and now D'Amato's about to get it, but it was deflected there by Braden Polton for Franklin Central. So 4th and 1 becomes 4th and 10. So let's see what we do here. This might be a good time to take one of those timeouts with 2:10 to go. All right. So, and now Plainfield has wisely taken its first time out. So let me catch my breath here and fill you in on what's happening. We're in game 1 of the season. The sun's just starting to set, 7:54 your time of day. Franklin Central 7, Plainfield 0. The Quakers have the ball 4th and 10 after it was previously 1st and 10 at the Franklin Central 13. They just took a timeout. Plainfield has moved the ball moderately well, but once again, last year's season-long problem of sustaining drives has plagued them again tonight. They got in Franklin Central territory on the first 3 possessions, but although they never got past the 40, they had one turnover on downs followed by 2 punts. Meanwhile, Franklin Central um, got the ball inside the Quakers 30 on their first 3 possessions. They scored a 9-yard rushing touchdown by Ezekiel Scruggs on their second possession, the only points of the game so far. The other 2 times they turned it over on downs. Plainfield very lucky to be this close. So now Cohen Vanderbush and Xander Natom. I'm sorry, Cohen Vanderbush and Ethan Ellis out to the left, Xander Natom to the right. One running back, Sabans takes it, makes the handoff. He's got time. He's got some room. He takes it up himself, and he could get the first down. He does. He got the first down. Oh my God. He's slow getting up. I hope he's not hurt. Oh, I hope he's not hurt. That is a scary sight. The senior quarterback is down. He took, it didn't look like a devastating hit, but he was hit around the 1 or 2 yard line. Oh my God. Please be okay. Wow. You never want to see anyone get hurt, but I'll tell you, man, when your senior 3-year starter quarterback goes down, and by the way, they gave him credit for 12 yards, so it'll be first and goal at the 1 when we return with 2:02 to go. But is the Tom? I'm sorry, Sabance is down. Um, he converted a big 4th and 10 after converting a big 3rd and 8 on a rush earlier in this drive. Showing that he intends to have a heroic senior season. He's come a very long way since he threw only a few passes as a sophomore 2 years ago when we had nearly a 5-to-1 rush pass ratio. Okay, he's standing now. And he's walking groggily but under his own power. Okay, that's good to see. Um, that's good to see. He's getting a very well-deserved ovation from this crowd. I think he will have to leave, even if he wants to keep playing. I think he'll have to leave for at least one play because the game was stopped because of his injury. So that means Plainfield would have to bring in a substitute quarterback for at least one play. All they have to do is punch it in 1 yard, and then we're an extra point away from tying it or a 2-point conversion away from taking the lead. Let's see. 7:57 to go here in the first quarter. Franklin Central 7, Plainfield 0. The Flashes, one of 2 newcomers on the schedule this year, Bloomington North coming up in week 5, replacing Greenwood, who's left the Mid-State Conference. So now let's see, we've got Ethan Ellis and Xander Natom out to the left, and we up to the right, excuse me. Nolan Wright, a sophomore, coming in as the backup quarterback here. Good luck, Nolan. And now, have we got a touchdown? We got a touchdown. Who was that? It was a direct snap to D'Amato, who took it in. Great job, Devin. All right. So the Quakers with 150 to go tie it. The first score in 15 minutes of action. Um, Plainfield's first points of the season. Wow. Devin D'Amato, I believe that's his first rushing touchdown. And now going for the extra point here, we have Liam McAdams, who his opening kickoff went 56 yards, so he seems to have a pretty decent leg there. Low snap, but they get it. The kick is up, and it is good, and we are tied. We are tied. Oh, a very tense first quarter, but we are tied with 150 to go. So now we just got to hold Franklin Central off the scoreboard for the rest of the quarter. We get the ball first, start the second half, and take the lead. All right, all right. Oh man, they don't make it easy on our heart. So it's the cardiac Quakers again to start 2026. But again, if we were playing a lesser opponent, if we were playing Terre Haute South again, we would probably be comfortably in the lead by now. Um, you know, I would rather play the heavyweights early, get toughened up for the playoffs. And if we beat a heavyweight, I wouldn't say Franklin Central is a super heavyweight, but certainly maybe like if this were boxing, they'd be a light heavyweight or a cruiserweight. Um, so you know, I mean, I honestly went into this game thinking it was a 50-50 proposition. We do open the season ranked number 5 in the USA Today poll, number 7 in the Indiana Football Coaches Association poll. The AP poll, as far as I can tell, did not release a preseason poll. Last year they did not either. They did not start until after week 1. But anyway, Franklin Central typically has been around the middle of Class 6A in recent years. Now now this one goes up to the 55. So for McAdams' first 2 kicks are pretty good, and then Mitchell got it though, and he gives another good return, though not as good as the last one. Takes up to about the 36. DJ Mitchell showing why he's on his way to play um, Division 1A ball for the Miami Ohio Red Hawks, who've had some, especially for not being a Power 5 school, has had some really good years here in the 20th century. So 142 to go here in the first half. Plainfield 7, Franklin Central 7. The Quakers just played it on a direct snap to Devin D'Amato, who took it in, replacing the injured Bryce Sabance. I see Bryce standing on the sideline. He looks okay. He's not limping, so that tells me he'll probably be back in this game. So now, first play of the next drive, and a wide open pass on the left side of the field. Um, Frazier was wide open for his second reception of the game. Caden Marsden, by my count, he has 8 receptions now. So I have that was 17 by my count. So now now they pressure, and now we get first down. Yes, yes, yes. All right, that was a great effort there by by Jordan Meyer and by Jack Nagy, and that's a big sack. Oh my God, that's a 7-yarder. All right, so very big turn of events there. So I'm sorry, 13-yarder. Excuse me. I'm sorry. It was I forgot it was they were in at our 47, not theirs. So second and 23 now, 51 seconds to go, and now that very well could change Franklin Central strategy. And we rush him again. He throws it deep, and oh my God, did he make that catch? Yes, he did, and that's for a first down for a gain of over 30 yards. That was completed to Zach Lutz. Oh my God, I give um, Martin all the credit in the world for rising to the occasion there when it looked like going to just let the rest of the half run off after that devastating sack. So first at the 29, 30 seconds left, still with 2 timeouts. Low snap. We rush him again. He throws deep, and it is broken up. White was going for the interception. He already has 8 for his first 2 seasons. Nevertheless, he did break it up. Wow, what an exciting game. So now 23.2 seconds to go for Franklin Central. They have a second and 10 at the Plainfield 29. Let's stop them, boys. 2 receivers each side, 1 running back. Marsden, the quarterback. And now we got a flag. We got a flag. So let's see what that's all about. Okay, delay of game. So Franklin Central really shooting itself in the foot with penalties. That's their second delay of game. And man, when you're a coach, you hate to see that. And keep in mind, Jason West is one of only 4 coaches who have won state championships here in Indiana with 2 different schools in football. So he certainly won't like a fundamental error like that. So second and 15 at the 34 now, 22.7 seconds to go. Let's just hold them, boys. And now throws up the middle, and it's incomplete. Incomplete. So now the situation starting to turn heavily in Plainfield's favor. Third and 15 now at the Plainfield 34. Although remember, Franklin Central does have 2 timeouts, so they have the freedom to work the whole field. We just got to stop them from getting 15 yards in 2 plays. Then we got to get into the locker room with the score tied, and then just take care of business, take the lead on the first possession of the second half. We do get the ball first. All right, two receivers to the left, one to the right, and now he drops the snap, and he's okay. All right, so he grabbed it while it was on the ground, but his knees were on the ground, so he's down. And now 10 seconds. Are they going to let the clock run out? Five. All right, I can't imagine. Yeah, I can't imagine they wouldn't at least stop it and like take a shot into the end zone. So that with 3.2 seconds to go, Franklin Central takes its second timeout. So anyway, now all we have to do is stop them from getting 42 yards on this one play, and we go into the end zone we go into the locker room with a tie. All right, all right. Oh no, my son Liam just told me that there was a sword attack at a school in Sweden. Oh, that's terrible. The world's going crazy. Arrested. Authorities have arrested the suspect. Yeah, I have heavy Swedish roots. So one of my grandparents, one of my great grandparents, four of my, I'll tell you the story later. But yeah, I'm very heavily Swedish. In fact, recently I've got something I want to read on the air sometime when have a few extra minutes during halftime. I actually found that somebody actually created American football terminology in Swedish. It's a really cool list. I think you'll enjoy it. But anyway, so now 4th and 23 for the Flashes at their own at the Plainfield 42, 3.2 seconds to go. Game tied at 7. So we're here in the second quarter, game 1 of the season. So two receivers to the left, one to the right. Now Frazier goes left as well. Marston takes it, throws deep. He's got a man open. Did he make the catch? No, no. Oh my God, it was in triple coverage. I thought he had it, and he comes up limping. That's Mitchell. He comes up limping. I hope he's not hurt. That would be a devastating loss for the Flashes. But anyway, oh my God, I'm going to catch my breath now. We're going to go into the locker room here. Very lucky to be tied. Your score after the first half of the season: Plainfield 7, Franklin Central 7. We'll be back with the first half recap after these words from our sponsors on AudioSportsOnline.com. The podcast of Plainfield Quakers football and AudioSportsOnline.com is brought to you by the generous support of our sponsors. We would like to recognize them, and we hope you will support them. They are New Wave Home Solutions, Gunnell Financial, Drone Family Construction, Crest Point Real Estate, Chris Pearson, Sunrift, Remax One Julia Berberich, Maximond Roofing, CCB Contracting, I-70 Record Service and Garage, Gray Tree Farm, Haynes Roofing and Remodeling LLC, Ellison Associates, BGW Construction LLC, Lennar Homes of Indiana LLC, YSD Design, Hampton Gentry Funeral Home, Asham Construction, Onward Financial, Marissa Harris Priority Realty Group, Farnsworth Recycling, and Ray's Demolition. Thank you, business partners. Your support for the student athletes of Plainfield High School is greatly appreciated. Well, back here at Plainfield, we're already up to a wild and woolly start to the 2026 season with your Plainfield Quakers and the visiting Franklin Central Flashes tied at 7 here in the first ever matchup between these two programs. It's a game in which Plainfield, in some ways, is um, reminding us a little too much of their biggest Achilles heel last year, which is unsustained drive. But they are against a very good opponent, probably one of the top 2 or 3 defenses we've played here in the Tyler Bless era, with two uh, senior defensive players on their way to play for Division 1A schools, including a BCS school, Michigan. Um, and all things considered, we are lucky to be tied here at 7. Um, Franklin Central got the ball first. They won the toss, elected to receive the opening kickoff by senior Liam McAdams with his first ever career kickoff, went 56 yards. However, it was returned by Miami, Ohio, future Miami, Ohio Red Hawk, um, DJ Mitchell, 67 yards, and he took it all the way to the Plainfield 27. However, the Flashes turned it over on downs. Then Plainfield, on their ensuing possession, drove just past the Franklin Central 50, but turned it over on downs. Then on Franklin Central's second possession with 4:52 to go in the first quarter, Ezekiel Scruggs scored on a 9-yard um, touchdown rush. The extra point by Kai Hasselt was good, making the score 7-0. Then on Plainfield's ensuing possession, the Quakers got just inside the 50 again, but then punted. Um, Once again, Franklin Central drove inside the Quaker 30, but then it turned over on downs for the second time, this time on an incomplete pass. And then the Quakers, on their ensuing possession, once again got just inside the 50, punted again. This time, however, they the um, held the Flashes without a first down. They punted from their end zone. Um, Ty White received the punt and looked like he had his I set on his second career punt return for a touchdown. He dropped it, then fell on it. However, the Quakers were already up to the 37, the Franklin Central 37. Then, after getting it to the Franklin Central 13, 1st and 10, for three consecutive plays for no gain, then Bryce Sabance, finding no man open, took it into his own hands, rushed 12 yards to the one where he was hit hard. He was slow to get up. He did eventually get up on his own power, but I believe because the clock was stopped because of his injury, he had to leave the game. And then on the ensuing play, excuse me, 1st and goal from the one, Nolan Wright went over there. He is a sophomore. Went to line up at quarterback. However, the ball was direct snapped to Devin D'Amato, who plowed in for the touchdown, and Liam McAdams was good on the extra point, bringing us to our current score of 7-7. The Flashes ball once again inside the Quakers. They got it as far as the Quakers 29 on their ensuing drive, but a huge sack against um, and then a huge sack, and then a loss for a a mishandled snap that the quarterback fell on, brought the ball back to the 42, and then on the last play of the half, with 3.2 seconds left, um, quarterback Caden Marsden threw into the end zone to a DJ Mitchell, who was under triple coverage, but actually got both hands on the ball, just didn't get a grip. It would have been a touchdown otherwise. So the Quakers were lucky to get into the locker room tied 7-7. We'll look at the individual statistics first of all for Plainfield. Bryce Sabance, not a great start to his senior season, but an efficient start. I have him 6 for 8 with 59 yards, no touchdowns, and no interceptions. Um, his leading receiver is Devin D'Amato, who has 2 for 26, followed by Xander Natom, 2 for 18. Um, and then Cohen Vanderbush, 1 for 8, and Ethan Ellis, 1 for 7. The leading receiver for 2024 returning this year, hopefully completely healthy. That was a good sign. Um, he missed almost all of last season with a foot injury. Sometimes you get back to 100% after foot injury, sometimes you don't. So that reception for Ellis was a good sign. On the ground, not much to report. Justin Meyer has been the lead running back. Um, he is 8 for 12 in this game. Um, and Devontae Thomas is 2 for 3. Um, ironically, is the Bryce Sabance is the leading receiver by my count. I have him 4 for 41, including two that prolonged drive. He converted on a 3rd and 8, and then on what turned out to be the scoring drive on the 4th and 12, on the 4th and 10 from the 13 where he gains 12. Excuse me. So anyway, you know, I'll tell you, this is the fourth consecutive season where Plainfield has been shut out in the first quarter. When the last 3 years we were playing a lesser opponent, Terre Haute South. Last year they did go 7-3 to be fair, but still not a program the magnitude of Franklin Central. Um, so I couldn't be shocked that Franklin Central, a 6A team, a middle of the pack 6A team with at least two future Division One players, including a BCS player, did hold us without any points. Um, but it was more than anything else, the offense just looked a little out of sync. I think the main thing is, that we're, and even Coach Bliss said on his show last Sunday that they have not settled the running back position. I think they're going to try a lot of different guys. They've tried Meyer for 8. Um, they've given it to Justin Meyer 8 times. He has only 12 yards along a 5. I don't think I should give up on him. I mean, this is probably one of the two best defenses that we're going to play in the regular season. Decatur Central might be better. That would probably be about it. Maybe Whiteland. I doubt it. I think this is going to be one of the top two defenses that we're going to play in the regular season. Um, so and then the Devontae Thomas was 2 for 3. Um, but Savant. So this is where even more than last year, his ability to to rush the ball is um is very important. I mean, it's a big part of the reason we're in this game right now. And I'm not sure any of his 4 rushes tonight um, were even planned, and yet he's averaging over 10 yards a rush. So very good start to this game for Stabons on the ground. He's actually had more highlights on the ground than through the air tonight. Um, so anyway, right now, I think the best thing I've seen in this game is Plainfield's defense. It hasn't been great, but we consider the talent that we're up against. We're up against a pretty athletic team, and we're not shutting them down, but we are containing them, and we're rising to the occasion. And for the most part, just making plays that we need to make to get the Rockets off the field. And again, this is going to be one of our better opponents of the season, probably. So you know, all in all, I'll give the Quakers a B- for the first half. Hopefully it'll be an A in the second half. But grading on a curve, considering this is the first game of the season against an opponent we've never played before, aren't as familiar with. You know, it's not bad. Um, and we've shown a lot of heart and a lot of character. So I'm proud of these kids. Um, I thought this was a 50-50 proposition, winning or losing this game coming in. And so it felt true because we're tied. So we're tied halfway through. So hopefully we'll take. Hopefully we'll score first. We get the ball first, start the second half. Hopefully we'll take it in, grab the momentum, and then just pull away from there. But we'll see. The main thing is just to keep things just getting better every play, playing to the absolute best of our ability, and making sure that when all when the game's over, that we know we gave our absolute best and that we have no regrets. And when you do that, you can be at peace no matter who wins or loses. And I want to say something. I want Plainfield to win every time they every time they play a game. But one thing that really occurred to me during the off season. By the way, I think about every game, every month that passes, I'm happy that we're 1 month closer to high school football season. But this off season, more than my previous 13, I spent a lot of time in the off season thinking about Plainfield football's future. And one thing that occurred to me, I felt for several years, as I've been saying on the air, that I think we're close to becoming an annual contender for the state championship. And I believe that. I would not have said it if I didn't believe it was true. Um, but then it occurred to me, look at the way that our last 9 tournament exits have gone. The last time Plainfield had a close loss in the tournament was 10 long years ago in one of the best games I've ever commentated. That super thriller where we lost to Zionsville 33-28, where we brought our A-minus game, but Zionsville brought its A game. It came down to, I think we had the ball at the 12 or so. Gavin Ritter made a spectacular catch as a senior on that last drive, about a 30 or 40-yard gain, but he got injured, and I believe the last few plays. And then sophomore Ben Slayton, in the best season by any quarterback in Plainfield history, threw the ball into the end zone into a big crowd. It was incomplete, and that was the game. Um, but since then, let's look at how we've been eliminated from the tournament. 2017, we lost to Decatur Central 41-20. The next year, we lost to Cathedral 51-14. That was 2018. 2019, we lost to Decatur Central 49-13. 2020 to Decatur Central 56-37. 2021, we lost to Cathedral 54-7. 2022, we lost to Whiteland 49-14. 2023 Harrison, we lost to Harrison 39-13. 2024 we lost to Decatur Central 35-7. Um, and last year lost to New Palestine 42-7. So that means in the last 9 seasons we've been eliminated in the tournament by at least 19 points, by an average of 31.5 points. And you know, granted we lost to some great teams. In fact, last year we lost to New Palestine. They went on to win the state championship. Year before that, we lost to Decatur Central. They went on to win the state championship. 2022, we lost to Decatur Central. They went on. Sorry, we lost to Whiteland. They went on to lose the state championship game. But if you want to win a state championship, you have to beat state championship caliber teams. And we've been not only losing to them, but we've been losing badly. So that makes me realize we just all have to, as you know, as Plainfield fans, we all have to band together and just, you know, um, be determined that we will never allow Plainfield to lose like that again. We just, are going to do whatever it takes to keep building these kids, working them even harder, getting them in the weight room more, getting them to do more push-ups, sit-ups, getting them to play together more during the off season. Just go the extra mile. Look at what makes New Palestine so great. A lot of people, if I mention Cathedral, people dismiss them that they have, like the Catholic schools, they have all that money advantage. Well, New Palestine's a public school, so let's look at what they do. And let's figure out how we can go to the next level. And all of us have a role to play in it, whether it's donating more, volunteering more to the booster program, the youth football program, whatever. But all of us, like they say on the NFL field, it takes us all. There are no, or like there was an auto company. They said in their commercials, I think when I was a kid, there are no unimportant parts. All of us who love playing field football just have to work together to take us to the next level, and develop these kids, more kids to go out for football, and so that we will someday, hopefully this year or at least in the near future, be where Decatur Central is now, where New Palestine is now, um, where we're not losing tournament games by 21 or 35 points anymore, but we're we're competing with, and hopefully um, beating these state championship contenders, so that we become state championship contenders ourselves, and we can do it. There are programs with fewer resources than ours who've done it, and I think New Palestine should be our role model, because I believe they have several fewer hundred students than we do, and yet they won 5 state championships in the last 12 years. They did it at the 4A level, then they were forced up to state the class 5A. They did it at the 5A level last year. So, you know, let's all whatever your role is, you know, let's all do it. You know, because when a high school football program wins a state championship, it's not just the players; it's everybody who's involved with the program. So um, find your part, and let's do this all together, and let's bring home a state championship. Um, so now with 2:05 to go here in the first quarter, in the halftime break, excuse me. Let's take a look at what the other Hendricks County teams are up to, how they um, how they did last season, and how they're starting the season tonight. Starting in Class 6A, the Brownsburg Bulldogs gave Hendricks County one of two state championships that it got last season. They got their second consecutive state championship and fourth overall. Their first two were also back to back, 84 and 85. Um, Last year, Brownsburg went 14-0 after 13-1 the year before. They beat the Westfield Shamrocks 38-31 in the championship game after beating them 22-17 in the championship game the year before. They're now on a 19-game winning streak, and they opened this season a unanimous number one. So they're poised for a three-peat. They received all 10 first place votes. And tonight they open by visiting the fourth-ranked Lawrence North Wildcats in Northwest Indianapolis in the most marquee game in the state tonight. John Hart begins his 11th season with the Bulldogs. Also in Class 6A, the Avon Orioles went 6-5, their first winning season in 6 years and their first 500 or better season in 5 years. They lost to Brownsburg 53-27 in the sectional championship game. Tonight, Avon opens visiting the Decatur Central Hawks in Southwest Indianapolis. The two teams are both ranked number 14 in the preseason poll, getting an equal number of votes. Rob Gibson is starting year 4 with Avon. In Class 4A, the Danville Warriors went 6-5, losing to Ron Colley 49-16 in the second round of the playoffs, the sectional semifinal. Tonight, the Warriors open the season hosting Cardinal Ritter, the Raiders. Jamie Comer's now in his 7th season as Danville's head coach. He got them to the Class 3A state championship game in 2020. In Class 3A, the Tri-West Bruins went 7-4, losing to the eventual state champion Cascade Cadets 45-14 in the second round of the playoffs, the sectional semifinal. Tri-West opens the season ranked number 6, and tonight they host the Western Boone Stars, who are a 4-time state championship. Jason Ward is now in his 8th season as Tri-West's head coach. And finally, in Class 2A, the Cascade Cadets won their first ever state championship last year, which was actually in Class 3A. But despite that, they moved down a class. Like I said, in Class 2A this year, last season they went 15-0. Their second consecutive undefeated regular season, they went 10-1 the year before. Last year they went 15-0, beating Fort Wayne Bishop Lewis 29-14 in the championship game. However, head coach Connor Simmons resigned to become the assistant principal at Southmont, and Cascade opens the season tonight ranked number 4, and they visit the Monrovia Bulldogs. Nate Brickens is Cascade's new head coach. Tonight will be his first game as a head coach for anybody. All right, so now back to action here. Getting ready to kick off the second half. 8:28 your time of day. A little bit of daylight left. Deep kick now. Fielded there by Ty White at the 1. You got to the 20, 25, and he's tripped up. Gets to about the 26, which is where his first kickoff return went. So the Quakers tied 7-7. This is the first time they've had the ball with the game tied, other than 0-0. Worked at the 25. So let's see. We got three receivers now to the left, one to the right. Two running backs. Savant hands off there. I believe that was Meyer again. He get helmet came off. Meyer gets about 3, one of his better rushes of the game. He went 8 for 12 by my count in the first half. Bring up 2nd and 7 for the Quakers. Tied at 7 here. Meyer, I have 9 for 15. He is a senior who's paid his dues, hoping for a breakout senior season. He had 5 on his first carry of the game, but hasn't had a game that long since in his subsequent 8. And now, as short pass is completed, it's going to be close to first down. That was D'Amato, his third reception of the game, also had a rushing touchdown. That's going to be very close to the first down. So let's see. I think they're going to mark him. As far as looking at the wrong yard marker, so he only gets 2. So it's a very big 3rd and 5 for the Quakers here. And now, uh, now incomplete pass. He's thrown on the right side of short pass. Going for Herbeck there. And I apologize. It was Nolan Wright, the backup quarterback, who is now in the game for the Quakers. We don't know if Sabance will be back or not. Nolan Wright, Nolan Wright, Nolan Wright. Um, he is a sophomore. That was his. So he just threw the first 2 passes of his career for 1 completion for 2 yards, and now the punt there. It bounces past the 45, past the 40. So a good Plainfield bounce again. That's about a 38-yarder. So both punts, a couple of the punts by the Quakers so far have taken really good bounces. So Franklin will start off tied in the second half. 10:26 to go. This will be Franklin Central's first possession of the second half. 10:26 to go. They take over at their own 32. Well, I have no idea. I'm gonna look to see if I can see. I'm looking to see if um Savant is on the sidelines, and if so, how he looks. I don't know if he'll be able to play again. We have sophomore backup Nolan Wright in there, and now throw up the middle for completion, and it's a gain of about 14 or 15. So that's Jason Brewer, bound for the University of Michigan, primarily a defensive player, but he got 14 there. And now he's brought down there. That was Scruggs, who scored the only touchdown for Decatur Central. However, Scruggs brought down for 1 there, or -1, excuse me. I have him 7 for 32 and a touchdown. He had a 9-yard touchdown in the first quarter to open the scoring. So second and 11 for the Flashes. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Um, Frazier, the running back, Marston takes the snap and throws up, and it's caught. He breaks a tackle, and he gets close to the first down. Um, Jimenez, their catches. He's going to be maybe within a yard of the first. I have Marsden 11 of 19, which is what he was for all of last season as a sophomore. So I give him credit for 10 there, bringing up a 3rd and 1, very big 3rd and 1 for the Quaker defense. And now the handoff to Frazier, and he's got the first down and more, over 10 yards inside the 35 there. That's be a pick of about 11. So I give him 11 there. So Frazier, I have 5 for 37 now on the ground, bringing up 1st and 10 at the 34. Plainfield's made some good stops, when Franklin Central had an arc. I know he rushed it out, okay, and it's deflected. White had a chance at the interception on the deflection, but didn't quite get a grip. He's a junior already with 8 interceptions, 9 as a freshman 2 years ago, then another 3 last year as a sophomore. Who knows how many more he'll get? Should be a very big college prospect. So that'll bring up 2nd and 10 at the 34 for the Flashes. Franklin Central hailing from Southeast Indianapolis. They're a member of the Hoosier Crossroads Conference, along with two Hendricks County schools, Brownsburg and Avon. So two receivers now to the left. And now handoff there. But we're right on top of him, and he gets only a short gain. That was Liam. How do you say? Is it Jimenez? Jimenez? Is that the correct Jimenez? Okay. Yeah, Liam's the Spanish guru. So they got Jimenez got 6, a little more than I thought. So three receivers to the right, and now we got some movement on the line and a flag. That's the 5-yard penalty against the Quakers, resulting in a first down. So the 1st and 10 at the 24 for Franklin Central. The game's still tied at 7:53 to go in the third quarter. Franklin Central is certainly a tougher opponent for week 1 than we've had in most recent years. Now a hand up there, and we stopped him dead in his tracks. All right. All right. So we stopped Frazier that time for probably no more than one. 7:30 and counting. I think they're saying no gain. Oh, a loss of 2, even better yet. So 2nd and 12 for the Flashes at their own at the Plainfield 26, 7:15 to go and counting. Game tied at 7. Third quarter, game 1 of the season. Two receivers to the left, now one to the right. Marsden looks back, and now he throws up, and it's incomplete. He had to throw it very low. He was throwing for Frazier. So 3rd and 12. So no excuse for not getting him off the field here, boys. Marsden looks like a very athletic kid. He is not a big guy at 5'11", 170, but looks like he's got a lot of speed out there. And it looks like he could be a very versatile quarterback. He's still got another year to grow and mature. So 3 receivers to the left, nobody to the right. Looks like Frazier's in there at running back. A low snap, but he gets it, throws over there. It's complete, and he's tackled well short of the first. Mitchell gets it. So let's see where they mark it. It's going to be several yards short of the first down. They give him credit for 8. Mitchell did get the reception. So 4th and 4. They're going to go for a field goal apparently here. This would be a 36-yarder. And they rush it. The kick is up, and it is good. So with 6:22 to go in the third quarter, Ty Hassold scores on a 36-yard field goal, and your score now: Franklin Central 10, Plainfield 7. The good news is that if we simply score on get a touchdown on our next possession, we got the lead. So let's do it, boys. And I'll tell you, Plainfield last year only attempted 1 field goal. It was a 26-yarder, no good by Ethan Edwards. So I don't know yet what kind of range Liam McAdams has. We shall see, but hopefully we will have the option of going for field goals this year when we get into the red zone. That was one thing that did hurt us last year, and I said, in the final broadcast, one thing we need for this coming season is a kicker with range at least to 35 yards for field goals, at least. Of course, 40 or more would be better. So deep kicker. Now, By White takes it around the 1, but then they decided I think they said it. Yeah, they said it was a touchback. Okay. By White, very dangerous in the open field. Unfortunately, did not get a chance to return that one. So a little over a quarter and a half to work with. The Quakers take over trailing by 3, 10-7. It's been a very hard fought game. Two receivers to the right, one to the left, and one running back now. Wright takes it, and he's got some room on the right side. Gets a little bit, not much though. I don't know what our chances of winning without Sabance are. They give Wright credit for 2 there. But certainly, whatever happens, it'll be good for him to have this game action against a marquee opponent when he has the chance to help us come back and win. Hopefully, he will. One receiver at each side now, and now Meyer again up the middle, and now he's still on his feet, showing a lot of toughness there. He gets maybe 3 or 4. Well, that'll bring up a very big third down. We don't want to let the Flashes get the ball with a chance to take a 2-possession lead. We're lucky to be in this one. So I have Meyer 10 for 18. And establishing I believe with all the receivers we have now, I believe establishing a solid rushing attack is going to be very important to us, to taking the pressure off of our receivers. And now, it's and it looks like the ball slipped out of Wright's hands and it was intercepted. And the Flash took it down to about the 10. Oh no! Oh no! So now the pressure really cranked up on our defense. And if we lose this game now, it's not an excuse as much as it is a fact. I mean, without Sabance, we're not the same team. I don't want to, judge Wright as a sophomore, especially with not seeing much of him. But no question, this team they were counting on Sabance. Hopefully, he will be back tonight or at least soon. Now, hand off there to Frazier, and we stop him for a short gain. Well, the thing is, even if we hold them to a field goal, we could still take the lead with a touchdown and extra points. And now we have an official timeout. So here's the situation: 4:39 to go here in the third quarter in the season opening game. Franklin Central 10, Plainfield 7. The the Flashes have the ball, second and goal at the 8. Um, man, Bryce Sabant made maybe the best play of the game for Plainfield, but unfortunately, it might end up costing us the game because he was knocked out of the game with an injury. On 4th and 10 at the Franklin Central 13, he rushed 12 yards. Uh, as he dove for the first down, which he didn't make. Um, he was hit. He was slow to get up. He did get up groggily, but under his own power. And now we have another Quaker walking off the field now groggily, but under his own power as well. I believe that's number 47, Jack Nagy, who's made a couple of good plays today for us. After the hit on Sabance, I did see him standing on the sideline. Did not appear to be seriously hurt, but I don't know. I hope it's nothing serious. Maybe they're just keeping him out as a precaution. We'll see. But now our defense has got to come through here to stop us from going down 2 possessions. The 2 receivers to the right, one to the left, 2 running backs. The snap and hands off, and he weaves around and he gets forward. He goes to the end zone. He he might have it. Yeah, he did. Danzer got several yards after contact to get the touchdown, and now we're in trouble. Our first 2 possession deficit of the game, 16-7, with the conversion pending. So the second score for the Flashes in less than 2 minutes. They got the go-ahead field goal with 6:22 to go. Now 4:31 to go in the third quarter. And now Hasselt on the extra point. He hit his first one and he hit a 36-yard field goal. This one's up and it is good. So Plainfield, with its backup quarterback in Nolan Wright, a sophomore, we're in trouble. We're not out of it, but we got to get something going. When the Blues Brothers played "Give Me Some Lovin' at Bob's Country Bunker," and the lights were turned off on them, Elwood turned to his bandmates and said, "All right, we got to think of something these people like and fast. Well, right now we got to think of something that works and fast." But even if we don't come back to win this game, I want to see how we respond to this adversity. Doesn't look like I could be wrong, but based on what Justin Meyer and Devontae Thomas have done, I do not think they're going to win this game for us. I'm not saying they don't have potential, but they've been well contained all night. So now Hassel's kicking off for the Flashes, and now I tell you, if he doesn't, if it's not a touchback, I think you're going to see um, White running with a vengeance. And this one, he fields it about the 3, up to 5, 10, 15. He's got a hole, 20, and now bounces off, and now he's got some room on the right side, 35. And okay, and that was Vanderbush. That was Vanderbush. Excuse me. Nevertheless, great job. We were so lucky to have. We're so lucky to have had the Vanderbush family for these last several years. Hale and Caden both went on to Division I ball, and now hopefully Cohen is next, and we still have him back for another year after this one. First hit the 35, and now a short pass is up for about 3 yards. So Wright's got his second completion. Like his first, it was also to Devin D'Amato, who has our only score of the game. D'Amato leads the team in receptions tonight with 4. But certainly, we got to get Sabons back and fast. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right, 1 running back. Thanks for the Cochleum. And now screen pass to Vanderbush. He's got room on the right side. Past the 40, past the 45, past the 50, and he's knocked out of bounds after getting to about 15 yards. All right, all right. So that's it's by far the most productive play, the most productive pass of um, that's 13 yards there by my count from Wright to Vanderbush. Vanderbush, the second reception of the season, the first one for 8. So now the Quakers um, get into Flack's territory. 3:33 to go, trailing by 10. Hand off there to Meyer, and I was hoping that passing play would open some doors for him. He gets only about 2 or 3 there, though. So Meyer with Meyer with 3 there, bringing up 2nd and 7 at the Franklin Central 46. 3:18 to go in the quarter, trailing by 10. We need a touchdown and a field goal. Let's go, boys. So 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, 2 running backs now. Right, the backup quarterback in shotgun. And now he takes the and now, but he slips. He slips. He was trying to run with it and he slips. Loses about 5. Oh no. Oh no. So that's going to bring up a another dreaded 3rd and long. So now it's 3rd and 12. Man, we got to get something going here. 237 to go in the quarter, just like the crazy room of the Shining. We've had a crazy game tonight. Two receivers to the right, now one to the left. Nolan Wright, the quarterback, looks to the sideline. 7 on the play clock. He better get going. 4 now. Gets in stance. Takes a snap. Drops back. Looks back. Throws deep down the right. He goes for Vanderbush. Um, and the crowd wanted pass interference. I'm not sure it was. I'd have to see it again, but 4th and 12 now. So I have Wright 3 for 6, 17 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception. The interception unfortunately set up a touchdown. The crowd really upset about that no call on the pass interference. I'd have to see it again to make an informed to make a fully informed opinion. Now a really bad snap, but and it's blocked. It's blocked. It's blocked, and the flashes recover at of the Plainfield 30 or 49. It was a very high snap. Probably should have either tried to rush for the first down or at least run to get an open spot because um, the Franklin Central defense just had too much time to get in there and make the block. Now the defense really's got to come through here. All right, 2:05 to go now, and now we're right. I think it's going to count it as a rush because it looked to me like Marston threw it backwards to Frazier. He nevertheless, um, how did they say that he lost 8 on that? That looked to me like I'm going to count it as a rush, but the officials might count it differently. I'd have to see it again, but it looked to me like they were thrown backwards there. So now 2nd and 18, and now a deep throw, and it is incomplete. So 3rd and 18 now. So yeah, we have contained, all things considered, we've contained Franklin Central's defense pretty well. The one touchdown we gave up, heck, I mean, after the interception, they started the drive at the 10. So I'm not gonna I'm not gonna hold that one very much against the defense. So they've made a lot of good stops. Stopped 3 or 4 potential touchdown drives here. So 3rd and 18 now for the and now a low snap throws up the middle. He's got a completion, and it's gain maybe. Oh, and we got another guy down. It was completed to Jimenez. It's going to be well short of the first down. I think he got up to 10 there. And now we got, I believe that's Dylan Rowe, a senior who's now rolling around on the ground in pain. Boy, I don't think I've ever seen this many Plainfield injuries in a game, at least not since 2014, which was probably the most injury plagued um, team in scene. The 2014 Quakers, I believe it's been 12 years now. That's probably the most injury plagued Plainfield team ever. I mean, we 14 or 15 projected starters ended up missing time because of injuries that year. And we paid a price for it in the early going, but we really got it together late in the season. After a 2-7 regular season, we did win our first 2 playoff games over Danville and Northview, and then in the sectional championship game right here, we nearly took down Ron Colley. Oh no, we got for scrubbing on the sideline. No, oh no, on the playing field, and there's players breaking it up. Oh no, we can't have any of that. We've got to have unity here. Oh no, what's that? Oh no, no, we saw number 45. We got to stop him. We got to stop him. That is Hagen Smith there. He put and now he's out of control. He's being contained by several people now. Oh, they've got to do something about that. That's unacceptable. We got to get him out of there. Oh no, I hate to see this. He appears to be upset with somebody, one of the other players. I'm not sure, but he's being restrained by at least three people now. We got to get him out of there. And now we got police coming in. Oh no. Oh my God, this is terrible. Oh no. And now the game continues. And now, after the 11-yard gain, and we stop him. Oh my God, I am sick over this. He's still. I mean, the now. Well, God, I'm sorry. I was the Hagen Smith. He's going on some kind of. He's been on some kind of tirade for a couple of minutes now. Oh no, I'm just sick. So now Plainfield take over first and 10 at the 33. A pass over to Ramato, and he makes the catch, but for hardly anything. He's being removed from the field now, and now he's not. He's still not cooperating. Oh God. Yeah. So now right my and now a 4-yard loss there by Meyer, and this game just really. I'm sorry to say, falling apart for Plainfield. And that's the end of the third quarter. So your Plainfield Quakers, a game that's just turning into a disaster in more ways than one. They trail Franklin Central 17-7. They'll try to salvage it after these words from after these final word after these words from our sponsors on audiosportsonline.com. The Plainfield High School Athletic. This broadcast of Plainfield High School football on audiosportsonline.com is brought to you by the generous donations of our sponsors. We would like to thank them, and we hope you'll support them. They are New Wave Home Solutions, Gunnell Financial, Chrome Family Construction, Crest Point Real Estate, Chris Pearson, Sunrift, Remax One Julia Burbridge, Maximond Roofing, CCB Contracting, I-70 Record Service and Garage, Jay's Tree Farm, Haynes Roofing and Remodeling LLC, Ellison Associates, BGW Construction LLC, Lennar Homes of Indiana, um, YSD Design, Hampton Gentry Funeral Home, Basham Construction, Onwald Financial, Marissa Harris Priority Realty Group, Farnsworth Recycling, and Ray's Demolition. Thank you, sponsors. Your support of the student athletes of Plainfield High School is greatly appreciated. Well, back here at Plainfield, we're about to start the fourth quarter with your Quakers trying to salvage something good here. They trail, uh, and now another. The game keeps comes. The game is just coming apart at the seams. Backup quarterback Nolan Wright in there for the injured Bryce Sabance loses 10 or 11 there on a sack when it was already 3rd and 19. Um, 4th and 31 now. The Quakers punting from their own end zone. Their last punt was blocked, so they got to be careful here. It was blocked because of a bad snap. Now we have a good snap this time. Still a weak punt. Now it takes the Franklin Central bounce, but now another Plainfield bounce. So we were lucky here. It could have been a disaster. Still, Franklin Central takes over in good territory. 34. God. Well, you know, if Plainfield loses this game, which now looks, I'm sorry to say, likely, um, there were a mountain of mitigating circumstances, and I, I want you to please stick with these kids and don't think that they're don't give up on them. They can overcome this. They've overcome a lot before, a lot more adverse situations than this to come back and, have a good season. And I think they will here too. They've just got to regroup after this. So now on the first play of the drive, Marsden throws to Jimenez for about 10 yards. Looks like it'll be a first down. And I'm sorry if I seem a little incoherent. I'm just, very, I'll try to get my thoughts together. I'm sorry. I've never seen anything like this. And now, I think Plainfield's just disoriented. Frazier just took it in 22 yards, almost untouched for the touchdown. This game's coming apart at the seams. I'm sorry to say. I think Plainfield. I think they're just. And now we got another injury. Murphy's Law taking effect for the Quakers tonight. We just got to get this game. We got to try to finish this game on a positive note, and then whatever happens, we got to regroup starting tomorrow morning and come back strong next Friday at Harrison. When you love someone as we love these kids, you go through the highs and the lows with them. Don't just cheer them on when they win. When things are down, you lift them up. You tell them you believe in them. You tell them to work hard and shake it off, and just go out there and give it all they got and try to slay those demons. 4 or 5 injuries tonight, and then some, a player apparently going on in some kind of rage, and the police having to get involved. Um, you know, I've never seen anything like that. I mean, I've seen outstanding sportsmanship by our kids. I don't know what went wrong with that young man. I don't want to speculate too much, but obviously there's a serious problem that he needs help with, and I pray that he gets it. Um, um, and if I had not reported what I saw, I would not have been doing my job. So Haskell for a 3 possession lead on this extra point if he hits it, and he hit his first two as well as the 36-yard field goal. The kick is up and it is good. So that virtually clinches it. Plainfield with virtually no offense without their starting quarterback Bryce Sabance, despite returning our top three receivers from last year and our leading receiver from the year before, Ethan Ellis, returning from an injury-plagued 2025 season. And by the way, our defense has played better than you would expect from having given up 24 points. Two of the touchdowns they gave up were because they took over in excellent field position after a bad punt and after a what do you call it? After a blocked punt and after an interception and after a bad punt. Oh my God, I feel sick now. You know, remember, I mean, one player who obviously has a serious problem that apparently nobody knew about until a few minutes ago. It doesn't negate that this is a program of great kids, great parents, great character in this beautiful community here in the heartland of America that represents what America's all about. And now it's squib kick. It's picked up at about the 10. And he's got a hole up the middle, 30, 35. He's going for something big. Ethan Ellis gets a gain of about 30 yards. So that and his reception, and the speed he showed there, and the determination show that that young man is back after. That shows that he's back, hopefully to full form after that injury. So now three receivers to the left, nobody to the right, one running back, Nolan Wright. This is the backup quarterback, throws, and it's complete, and he gets about 10 yards out of it on the left side. Austin Ward, who had some good moments as a sophomore last year, wide receiver, um, gets gets to about 7 yards there. So I do want to see us at least end on a positive note. Glad to see Ward get his first reception of the season. 2nd and 3 at the 46. And now a handoff. And this time we've got, I believe that was Thomas there with his first carry in a while. Devontae Thomas, he did get a first. I think he got the 3 yards he needed and one more. 10:20 to go. Plainfield trailing 24-7. First and 10 at the 50 for the Quakers. Now a screen pass there is caught there, but for probably no yards. Ellis got it, but for I think no gain. Wright's completed 6 of 9 passes, but I only have him for 19 yards. Wright. I mean, he did not expect to be in this situation. He's clearly in over his head through no fault of his own. So I don't fault him for anything bad that happens in this game. I just want him to give his best effort. He'll have better days ahead. He's only a sophomore, a good size at 6'1", 179. Getting thrown into the fire sometimes ends up being the best thing that ever happened to you. So now Thomas takes it again, gets about another 3. Still, it'll bring up 3rd and long. 9 because so 3rd and 7 now at the Franklin Central 47. I have Thomas 4 for 10 now. Plainfield's running backs tonight have not done a lot. Sabant's had some good moments on the ground, but unfortunately, one of them knocked him out, at least probably for the rest of the game. Hopefully, no further. We got to get him back, and fast. In the meantime, we just got to do everything we can to support Nolan Wright, the backup. And now they give Meyer another chance. He gets 3 or 4, so it's going to bring up. He gets up 3 and 4, so he gets up 3 or 4, so it'll be 4th and 3rd or 4. So Meyer, I have him 13 for 20 now, about a yard and a half a carry. I have Thomas 4 for 10, about 2.5 a carry. Well, that is exactly 2.5 a carry. So and now incomplete there. So the another turnover on downs, but I'm not going to hold that one against the Quakers. Too many mitigating circumstances here. And certainly there'll be people. Um, and so anyway. Something like that, yeah. Possibly, yeah. So anyway, Franklin Central takes over, and now I just, you know, we're virtually no chance of winning this. Down 24-7 with Sabance out of the game. He was knocked out on, ironically, probably the best play Plainfield made in the game. It set up our game time touchdown, and now a double reverse there, and but we stopped him. We stopped Jimenez for looks like a slight loss there. So we are, still giving good efforts. I mean, what we're up against tonight, the double whammy of losing our quarterback and then the person, that what happened, on the sideline in the third quarter, which I'll talk more about later. But um, and now we got another injury. This one to Franklin Central. I don't want anybody to get hurt for either team, but you know, we've lost four or five. We've had 4 or 5 injuries tonight. Sabant, after his injury late in the first half, I did see him walking around on the sideline, but I have not seen him on the sideline in the second half. So that isn't. He did not. He looked like he was walking normally. So hopefully he's just being kept out of the game for a precaution. But we shall see. I don't want to speculate too much. I guess we'll find out on the Tyler Bliss show on Sunday. Um, but I just want you all to know, we're going to get through this. We're going to come out swinging next Friday in our first road game uh, at Harrison up in Tippecanoe County near Lafayette. Um, you know, hopefully we'll have Sabants back, but even if not, hopefully Wright having a good, week of practice with our guys will build some chemistry and we'll be able to go up there and get the job done. Again, we opened the season ranked number 5 in the USA Today poll, number 7 in the Indiana Football College Association poll. I didn't find a preseason poll for the AP, but obviously, we were, and now Frazier takes it around the right side for about 5. That'll bring up 3rd and 8 or so. Frazier got a 22-yard touchdown that virtually clinched it for the Flashes. Frazier, arguably the player of the game for the Flashes side, picks up 5. They're bringing up 3rd and 8. So Plainfield still has a good chance to get the ball back here. The completion for a first down. He's got the room and he could go all the way. His man lost him, and Torres takes it. It looked like it was just going to be a short gain that he might just get the first down, but his man overran him and he took it all the way down. Um, it looks like that'll be a pickup of 40 yards there. I believe that's the longest completion of the game for the for either team tonight. The longest play from scrimmage tonight. There have not been a lot of huge plays tonight. And Danzer there, who got a touchdown earlier. Mike Danzer with his 3rd rush of the game. Picks up 1 there, bringing up 2nd and 9 at the 13, 6:15 to go. Now, and now they give it to Frazier and he takes it in for the touchdown. No, I'm sorry, that was Danzer. Danzer, excuse me. Danzer with his 2nd touchdown of the game. And it's 30-7 now with the conversion pending. Better than this. We're going to have better days this season. We're going to shake this one off. Um, so I'm having a hard time coming up with the words right now. Yeah, like Liam says, like Taylor Swift says, take her. Like Taylor Swift says, shake it off. And there's an ambulance now with 2 cop cars behind it, all with their lights, their sirens on, leaving the parking lot now. So that's a very concerning sign. So yeah. Well, so anyway, God, basically, for those of you just joining us, it's been a traumatic game for two reasons. Um, Bryce DeBont, our starting quarterback, went down with an injury. Well, um, he got up on his own power, but groggily, he has not returned to play since then. And our offense has been an absolute disarray without him. And then in the third quarter, one of our kids went on a violent rage. Several Plainfield people on the Plainfield staff failed to subdue him. The police ended up getting involved. And I think that uh, basically the kids have looked like that affected them psychologically. I hope the coaching his staff can just keep the kids focused for the rest of the game. So now Plainfield on the return. Ellis looking for Strum on the right side. Um, I think they could make a case for a late hit there, but it's not called. It's 5:46 to go. Hopefully Plainfield will finish strong, but they've barely moved the ball at all with backup quarterback Nolan Wright, who again I emphasize I am not blaming him in any way. He is, he was put in, pretty close to a no-win situation here. So please, if you know that kid, give him a hug. Tell him you love him, you believe in him. Just keep working hard and doing his best, and that's all we ask. So three receivers to the left, one to the right. Um, and it's a completion, and he gets out of bounds for about 5 yards. That was Ward with a second reception. I'd like to see in this situation, down by 24 with 5:39 to go. I'd like to see Wright start to, take a little, take some more chances, do some more stuff, a little more high risk. He completed four there. That's Ward's second reception of the game. He had seven on his first. Second and six now at the 26, 5:39 to go. Franklin Central 31, Plainfield 7. And now we've got two flags down. False start offense. So that negates the 4 yards that Ward got on that pass, plus one more. I have Wright 7 for 11, 23 yards, no touchdowns, one interception. The interception looked to me like it just slipped out of his hands. And now throws up the middle. He's got a completion for the first down. That's a gain of close to 20 yards. That's Ethan Ellis, who emphatically tried to get the fans into it by making the first down sign. Ellis, glad to be back. He has been a bright spot for us tonight. He had about a 30-yard kickoff return. Now 17 yards there. That's the longest passing play of the game for Wright, Nolan Wright. So bringing up first and 10 at the 39 for the Quakers. Now, hopefully they'll give Wright some confidence, but he's sacked there for a loss of about 5. Darn it. Every time, we make a good play, it seems like we have a setback. We just gotta take it off, man. Just gotta take it off. So now second and 14 for the Quakers. After that 4 yard loss. No, I know that. Well, you can make a case there. Yeah, we got a late hit, so that's going to be a personal foul against the flashes. So that'll move the ball from the 35 to the 50. We'll take all the free yards we can get. I at least want us to get a score to close out the game. It's not so much about making the score closer as giving this backup quarterback who's been um, you know after what Nolan Wright was thrust into, I want him to gain the confidence of leading us on a scoring drive. So first and 10 now for the Quakers. They moved up to the 49. That's 1 yard away from getting into Flash's territory. 4:29 to go. And now, oh no! And he drops the snap, but he picks it up and runs with it. Oh, could have gotten rid of it, but he's brought down for a loss. He'll learn from it. He'll learn from it. Poor guy. He'll have better days. And then 14 now for the Quakers. Two receivers to the left, one to the right. Now it fakes the handoff right, and he's blitzed. And obviously, he needs more experience. He needs to know when to get rid of it. He'll learn from this. Another -5 for Nolan Wright, bringing up 3rd and 19. 9:21 your time of day. We need. And now he just throws deep. He's got a man open, and that's pass interference. Yes, yes. All right, all right. He threw deep on the left side. It was it was clear, and he was going for an Tom. Obviously, he's had a rough night. Only 2 receptions for 18 yards after he had 13 touchdowns last year as a junior. As a junior, yeah, where he just came out of nowhere. He was the most pleasant surprise on the team. Hoping for a banner senior season. Hopefully, he'll have Sabant to throw to him. So now the Quakers take it. I thought that was supposed to be an automatic first down. It's showing 3rd and 4 at the 45, and now Plainfield taking a timeout. I think they want to make sure they keep this drive going. Maybe it was I just assumed because it looked obvious to me it was pass interference. Maybe it was another penalty because I thought pass interference was always an automatic first down. But anyway, 3:01 to go in the game. Plainfield is on its way to its first season opening loss in 4 years. Um, a boatload of mitigating circumstances. We lost starting quarterback Bryce DeBont. Hopefully not for anything beyond this game, but we lost him, late in the first quarter when he was hit while diving for a first down, which resulted in a touchdown being scored on the next play, our only score of the game, in fact. Um, but then in the third quarter, one of our players, for no apparent reason, went into a violent rage and was, after Plainfield personnel failed to sustain him, to stop him, then he went into the police got involved, and who knows what will happen from there. Obviously, the kid needs seriously help, but it seemed to break the kid's morale after that. And now they said he was down. They said his knee touched the ground. He was swarmed. So Franklin Central really giving this poor young man a hard time. But that's he's being thrown into the fire. That's about 5 or 6 sacks they've gotten on Wright now, our backup quarterback. Poor kid. I guess they're going to punt now, meaning Plainfield, will likely not get the ball back for the rest of the game. 2:29 to go. I think they just want to get this game over with it at this point. Wow. Now a near blocked punt. It's not. It's a low punt, but it takes another good Plainfield bounce though. inside of the 30. It's down to about the 27, so it'll be about a 28-yard punt. So not as bad as it could be. I just hope this doesn't break the spirit of our fans and our kids. I hope they just come back, swinging next week. Don't forget the last time we lost our season opener. Um, that was back in 2022. We went 0-3 that year. With two of our three losses, by the way, the two of those three losses to start the season coming at home. Um, we came back and we won the sectional that year. Only the second sectional in school history. History can repeat itself and more. So don't give up on these kids, especially with the sectional we're in this year, which I'll be telling you more about later. And so now you got to rush. Looks like we got a new guy, um, Pierce Parker, rushing for the 8 yards up the middle for the Flashes. 140 to go now. This will likely be the final possession for either team of the game. Plainfield just needs to get this game the heck over with and regroup. And now a rusher on the right side. He's got a first down and a little more. That's Parker again. Looks like he got about 4 that time. There is a flag on the play, so that stops the clock with 114 to go. So that'll wipe out that gain, that 4-yard gain there by Parker. 108 to go now and counting. So about 2 more plays, and as long as there's no clock stoppages, that'll be it. Here's a rush up the middle for about 3. That was Parker again. Certainly earned another carry after what he did on his first one, which went for 8, pick 3 there, so I have him 2 for 11. He had about a 4-yard gain that ended up being negated because of the penalty. So Franklin Central will have to run one more play. Could be just a kneel down. We'll see. Under 23 seconds now. And I think Marsden's just going to kneel it out and mercilessly end this game. And he does. So anyway, the Plainfield Quakers lose their opener. But that's not the worst of it. They lose their starting quarterback and they have a horrible sideline incident that I hope the team will quickly mentally recover from. Um, your final score here tonight at Plainfield: the Franklin Central Flash of 31, your Plainfield Quakers 7. We'll be back with a recap and a preview to next week's showdown at Harrison after these final words from our sponsors on audiosportsonline.com. This broadcast of Plainfield Quakers football on audiosportsonline.com is brought to you by the generous support of our sponsors. We would like to thank them, and we hope you will support them. They are New Wave Home Solutions, Ganell Financial, Crone Family Construction, Crest Point Real Estate, Chris Pearson, Sunrift, Remax One, Julia Burbridge, Maximond Roofing, CCB Contracting, I-70 Record Service and Garage, Jay's Tree Farm, Haynes Roofing and Remodeling, Ellison Associates, BGW Construction LLC, Lennar Homes of Indiana LLC, YSD Design, Hampton Gentry Funeral Home, Basham Construction, Onward Financial, um, Marissa Health Priority Marissa Harris Priority Realty Group, Farnsworth Recycling, and Ray's Demolition. Thank you, sponsors. Your support for the student athletes of Plainfield High School is greatly appreciated. Well, back here at Plainfield for a final time tonight, where your Plainfield Quakers have had a very rough season opener. In more ways than one, they lost to the Franklin Central Flashes by a score of 31-0. It's a game that looked like it was going to be very competitive throughout. It was actually tied at the half, but the tie came at a very steep price for the Quakers. Um, Franklin Central got the ball first and returned the opening kickoff all the way to the 27, but turned it over on downs without ever getting a first down. Then Plainfield um, turned the ball over on downs on their ensuing possession around the Franklin 47. The Flashes converted that into the first score of the game, a 9-yard touchdown rush by Ezekiel Scruggs. Um, Kai uh, Kai Hasselt Kai Hasselt was good on the extra point, making the score 7-0. Um, then on Plainfield's ensuing possession, after another punt just inside, um, after another punt just inside Flash's territory, the Flashes went 3 and out, and then on Plainfield's ensuing possession, um, on the punt, Ty White attempted a long return, ran it very hard, but he dropped the ball, fell on it at the Franklin Central 37. Then when it was first and 10 at the 13, three consecutive plays of no gain put Plainfield at 4th and 10. At which point, Bryce Sabance made a mad dash for the end zone, dove, and was hit at the 1. Um, and he was knocked out of the game. He was down on the ground for about 3 minutes. He did get up and walk off the field groggily, but on his own power. I saw him for the remainder of the half walking around on the Plainfield um, sideline, and he did not look to be in any discomfort. However, I did not see him in the second half. So apparently, he was getting evaluated. Um, on the first play after Tabant was injured, um, Nolan Wright, um, Plainfield sophomore backup quarterback, went into the game, and on the next play, on the first play with Wright in there, there was a trick play. The ball was direct snapped to Devin D'Amato, who took it in for the touchdown, and Liam McDaniels, or excuse me, Liam McAdams. Liam McAdams hit the extra point, tying it at 7. But that unfortunately would be Plainfield's last play of the game. Um, their last score of the game, excuse me. Um, in the second half, Plainfield got the ball first, failed to score, and then Wright unfortunately did not have a lot of success all night. Understandably, a sophomore being thrust into the game under very difficult circumstances against a defense that contains at least two Division One guys, including one guy who's headed for Michigan. Obviously, a couple of real super heavyweight guys. Um, and he clearly was in over his head, which will benefit him later, but it'll be an asset for the future, but it was a liability very much so tonight through no fault of his. And then with 6:22 to go in the third quarter, Kai Hasselt hit a 36-yard field goal, and then on and Plainfield's ensuing possession, the ball seemed to slip out of Wright's hand. It was intercepted and returned to the Plainfield 10, where Bryce Danzer took it in 8 yards for the touchdown. And Hasselt was good on the extra point, making the score 17-7, at which point Franklin Central had a very good grip on it. But that was of little consequence next to what happened on the Plainfield sideline late in the third quarter. Plain, there were two Plainfield kids who seemed to be exchanging harsh words, and then one pushed the other, and then then there was one of the players that went into an absolute violent rage. Plainfield personnel, there were at least three players, at least three people on their personnel were trying to restrain him. Finally, the police got involved, and the Plainfield kids. I know that in a perfect world, you would always focus on the game. These are kids. They undoubtedly were shaken by what happened. I was shaken by it, and that's why my commentary was kind of incoherent there for several minutes. I think it affected their play, and um, there were a couple of plays where Franklin just ran in there, you know, ran the ball in untouched for touchdowns. And I think the kids were not fully focused on the game. Understandably, it's something that the coaches have to talk to them about, and something that they'll learn from. So anyway, in the fourth quarter, Ryan Frazier rushed it 22 yards for a touchdown with 10:46 remaining, and then with 5:55 remaining, Bryce Danzer rushed it in 12 yards for the touchdown. Both extra points by Kai Hasselt were good, and that brought us to our final score of 31-7. Look at the individual statistics for Plainfield. Bryce Sabance completed 6 of 8 passes for 59 yards, but unfortunately, like I said, went out with that injury late in the second quarter, excuse me. Um, Hopefully, he will be back next week. His backup, sophomore Nolan Wright, completed 8 of 12 passes for 40 yards, no touchdowns, and 1 interception. Um, he'll have better days. He did the best he could under the circumstances. He clearly was not ready for this, but this experience will benefit him down the road. Um, for Plainfield, Devin D'Amato had 5 receptions for 25 yards. Ethan Ellis, returning after missing most of last season after being our leading receiver 2 years ago as a sophomore, got off to a good start for a senior season, especially for being thrown to by a backup quarterback. He went 3 for 24. Um, Cohen Vanderbush, 2 for 21. Austin Ward, 2 for 11. On the ground, not much to report. Sabance actually was our best rusher. He went 4 for 41, but the two running backs didn't do much. Justin Meyer, I have him 13 for 20, and Devontae Thomas 4 for 10. We just got to keep on trying different things, see what works, and give those guys more chances too, but maybe try some of the other guys. Um, and then Nolan Wright, I have him 6 for -26. He got sacked 4 or 5 times. They blitzed him a lot, took advantage. They blitzed him a lot more than they blitzed the Bonds. I think they were just trying to rattle Wright because of his obvious youth and inexperience, which isn't what you do. I mean, the way you win games, one of them is that you find your opponent's weakness and you exploit it. That's what you should do. I don't fault Franklin Central for that at all. Look at Franklin Central statistics. I have Caden Marsden completing 26 of 20. I have Caden Marsden completing 16 of 26 passes for 193 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. On receiving, I have Zaire Torres 3 for 57, Andrew Jimenez 2 for 26, DJ Mitchell bound from Miami of Ohio, 3 for 23. Ryan Frazier 2 for 18, Zach Lutz 1 for 31. Um, Jace Brewer bound for the University of Michigan 1 for 14, Pierce Parker 2 for 11, and Marsden 1 for -1. That was his kneel down to end the game. On the ground, Ezekiel Scruggs 7 rushes for 32 yards and a touchdown. Ryan Frazier 10 rushes for 56 yards and a touchdown. Bryce Danzer um, 5 rushes for 34 yards and 2 touchdowns, and Andrew Jimenez 2 for 3. So in conclusion, this is a game, other than the typical first quarter rush, failing to sustain a couple of drives that I felt we should have sustained. I gave us a B- for the first half, and I still stand by it. The second half, I'll, I, you might think this is, me not wanting to, um, not wanting to be too harsh with the kids, but no, I mean, when I think the kids deserve criticism, I'll give it to them constructively, of course, in a way that helps, not in a way that hurts. I don't insult them. I'll say when I think they can do something better. But for our second half grade, I give it an incomplete, because there's no way you could reasonably assess these kids by being put in with their backup quarterback, a sophomore who clearly was not ready through no fault of his own. And then the horrible distraction that we had, that's undoubtedly, I mean, look, I'm a 55-year-old man. It takes a lot. I mean, I think I'm a pretty sensitive guy, but you know, I've seen a lot of bad stuff in my days, and it takes a lot to shake me up. But that did shake me up, and these kids are 37, 38, 39, 40 years younger than I am, so I'm sure it shook them up too. And then having to be in that situation to concentrate on the game while wondering what's going on at the half, it's tough. So But just, hope he gets the bounce back. The fact that he was walking seemingly comfortably shortly after his injury gives me hope. Now, one thing I do give you as a word of caution: sometimes somebody appears to be not too seriously injured right after an injury, but then there'll be swelling and it turns out to be worse. Hopefully, this will be something where he'll be back at 100% next week. But if not, we've got to just, get the kids a week of good practice with Nolan Wright and build the chemistry that we can. And it will help him that he has four very experienced upperclassmen wide receivers, all of whom I think are going to end up playing college ball to throw to. That will certainly help his development. When Ben Slayton was thrown into the fire 11 years ago as a freshman, it helped him that he had Dante Keys and Gavin Ritter to throw to, who were both juniors. And then that was a magic trio the next year when Keys and Ritter were seniors and Slayton was a sophomore. So with Wright being a sophomore and the four, big receivers being juniors and seniors, it can develop into a great combination too. But hopefully Stabans will be back. And then with whatever happened, obviously, I want to say one thing. I don't want to be too speculative about what happened, but I will say that mental health is a very serious problem. Anybody who has a mental health problem should not be ashamed of it. We should reduce the real stigma that society places on mental health and get people who have mental health problems the help they need. And remember, whatever struggles that you're having, there's always help and there's always hope. One of the things that I wish I had been more proud of this during his lifetime, but my paternal grandfather, Dr. Ott Benton McAtee, was the superintendent of a mental health facility, the Madison State Hospital in my hometown of Madison, Indiana, for 27 years. And I didn't appreciate it at the time, but you know, if after I die, if I see him again, one of the first things I'm going to tell him is how proud I am for him uh, having devoted his life to that cause of mental illness. That was one of the things I also greatly admired about former First Lady Rosalind Carter, who just died 2 or 3 years ago. Um, but anyway, so just pray for that young man, and all of you just lend your friendship and support to these kids, these coaches, the whole staff, and help them to, shake this off and come back with a vengeance starting next week when we go on the road for the first time this season to play a familiar opponent, the Harrison Raiders. It's a series that began 4 years ago. Prior to that, we'd only played Harrison once in the 1992 playoffs when they beat us 35-14 at Harrison on the way to winning the Class 4A state championship. Coach Brian Woodard, who was entering his last season in 2022, um, said he did not want to take the game, but if he had not, we were getting close to the point where have we would not have found an opponent for week 2. So anyway, he didn't want to take the game, not out of any bad feelings against Harrison, just not wanting to play an opponent that far away, about 80 miles. But it's turned out to be a great rivalry. By an odd coincidence, the year we added them to the schedule, they were moved into our sectional, and we met them in both the regular season and the playoffs. Each of those first 2 years, with each time the team that won the regular season matchup, getting avenging each time the team that won the regular season matchup lost to the other team in the playoffs. The first year they beat us in the regular season, we beat them in the playoffs in that super thriller in the first round that sent us into the sectional championship game that we won against Decatur Central. The next year we beat them in the regular season. They came back and beat us in the tournament, also in the first round. After that, Harrison was moved to Class 6A, so we can't play them in the tournament, but we have won both of the regular season matchups since then. So we lead the all-time series 4-3 and 4-2 since we started playing them regularly 4 years ago. Hope you all get out there and let them know that regardless of this game and regardless of what happened and regardless of where the pollsters rank us next week, we still believe in these kids. We think they're going to come out. And now, after, let's say they fall out of the top 10, I look forward to watching them march back into the top 10, back to the top 5 and beyond. That'll be very satisfying. So let's just support these kids. Um, and it should be a very winnable game, Harrison. Um, after their 38 game losing streak, after the three consecutive losing seasons from 2011 to 2013. When Terry Peebles took over the program in 2014, he had 9 winning seasons and one 500 season in 11 years. Last year, Kyle Holderfield took over, and of course, the team also moved into the tougher Sagamore Conference. Um, and they dropped to 4-6, and they lost, a big chunk of their offense. They do return a couple of key players. Their leading rusher is Zion Clopton, who is going to be, well, he is a junior this year, should be a big college prospect next year. And then last year he had 770 carries for 516 yards. That's 7.4 yards a carry and 3 touchdowns. Also, they returned Sullivan Garrett, who last year as a junior, he's a senior now, 51 receptions for 390 yards and 5 touchdowns, 2 of which came against us. So they do have some pieces to build around, but it should be a winnable game. It is about an 80-mile trip, but if you can get up there and support these kids, that would be greatly appreciated. Um, the weather up there, let's see, supposed to have good weather, a high of 83, partly cloudy. Last time, you might remember on that Friday night when we got up there. We got up for the game and the kids were warming up, and then lightning came in. And after 40 minutes, they postponed the game to the next day. So we had to go back home and come back. And thankfully, we did get the win. We were down 9-7 after 3 quarters, I think, because of fatigue, but then we turned it on in the fourth quarter, scored 17 unanswered points to win. So hopefully we'll get a good win next week, bounce back, and get the kids some confidence heading into the next home game, which will be 2 weeks from tonight on Labor Day weekend against Mooresville as we start mid-state conference play. So anyway, a rough night, but like I said, when you love somebody, you stick with them through the highs and lows. Tonight was the low, no question about it. I'm not going to whitewash it. It's something we have to address, we have to learn from, and we have to remember that this is a great program. We have a lot of great people in this program. The kids and the coaches, and it's run by a great parents and a great community. So we all just need to do our part to support this program and help it be the best it can be, and help our kids, rise above this physically and mentally, and just come back, and give it all we got the next week. And as long as we do that, as long as they do that, we'll be proud of them, no matter what the result is. But I also believe that we're going to win a lot of games this year. And one thing I've neglected to say all night is that this year our sectional, it's like the football gods think they owed us a favor because of all the years that we drew Cathedral and Ron Colley and and New Palestine and Decatur Central in the playoffs this year. Our sectional is Terre Haute North, Terre Haute South, and Arsenal Tech, which makes us the clear odds-on favorite despite this loss tonight. So there's a lot to look forward to this season, and you know I don't mind a loss. I don't mind a loss if it makes us better in the long term. So, you know, we're always going to look back at this game with bad memories, but I also hope it will be, I hope we'll look back at this game as a turning point where we decided, you know, we're going to rise above this. We're going to come back next week, mad as hell, and we're going to slay all these demons, and we're just going to give our absolute best, all 48 minutes, every play of every game, the rest of the way, and try to, put this behind us and show that it made us better and put us on the course to reaching our full potential. So what's been your final score here tonight at Plainfield? The Franklin Central Flash is 31, the Plainfield Quakers 7. Um, but only 7 days. We play again. Your Plainfield Quakers return to action tonight as they travel up to Tippecanoe County to play the Harrison Raiders. Hope you'll be there or at least tune in. I'll be starting the pregame show at 6:40. Until then, for audiosportsonline.com, this is Steve McAtee reminding you now more than ever, there is a difference only you can make.